Hey everyone, I'm Francesca Hong. Welcome to our live stream tonight. We've got amazing guests. Our team is here. We've got Tim Faust. He's going to make sure that I am checking in with chat, plugging in, saying way more interesting things probably sometimes than I will, but we'll see. Amazing guests, and we're just thrilled that you're able to join us this evening. It begins. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, welcome to the live stream. Thanks, folks, already for all of your support, for tuning in. We have some really fun things in store for you all tonight. Let's see. Thank you. Hey, Carrie. Excited. Happy last night of Pride. But we should be celebrating Pride every day. But yes, happy last night of Pride for folks. Hey, Alec. Oh, thanks so much for the kind words. Hassan stream, that was really fun. That was really fun. I had a good time. I met the real star, Kaya. She's a star, she's a queen. May she rule all of the live stream lands. Hi, Rob. Thanks for being here. Hey, Cat Raid. We're stoked that you're joining us. We'll never leave. Is that what we're calling it? Cheesegate? Love it. Hassan will never live down Cheesegate. That is correct. That was just, I was trying to rein it in, but I couldn't. When I saw the cheese on top of what I was told was going to be kalbicim, and I realized at that moment that the vibes were shifting. The vibes were shifting. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the live stream with Hassan yesterday and with Mike. We're stoked that you're here tonight. Oh, love you too, Kat. Thanks so much. It has been an absolutely wild couple of weeks. Every day we get to meet amazing folks across our state, have real conversations with folks about what's going on in their lives. And lately, some of the oppo, shall we say, things have been is being thrown at us. But I think we've only come out stronger as a campaign rooted in fighting for working class people first. We're not going to get distracted because this is a community-powered campaign, which means community is who fuels us. It's how we're going to keep growing stronger, and we're stoked that you're building community with us here tonight on our stream. Yes, Kat's going to be doing doors with us, canvassing. Check out kapow.works/Hong. Be sure to come up and hang out when Kat comes up to hang out. Yes, I am stoked to be your next governor. What's the best Korean restaurant in Madison? That is a very good question. So I really like K-Pepper. Technically, they're in Middleton, and we love Souls. We love New Seoul. Let's see, where's our friends? Right on the square here. But honestly, the best Korean food is like at my mom's house, so I can't, I'm not going to be able to fully narrow that down for you, but there are some great spots around town. Soba in Milwaukee lately. All right. I love soba noodles. And yes, absolutely. If Hassan makes it out to Wisconsin, we will absolutely try to get him cooking with us. We've got a great spot in town that I think could possibly host. We'll see if Hassan can, handle the heat in the kitchen. Oh, the black sesame udon was definitely, if not my favorite dish at Morris. Though, if you want to have a piece of Morris, our Morris ramen recipe is actually in the Madison Chef's cookbook. You can check out Lindsay Christian's Madison Chef's Cookbook, and our recipe for our miso ramen is there, and one of my favorite, the recipe to kimchi whatever. Our seasonal kimchi, everything from peaches to apples and bok choy kimchi. We've got a ratio that you can use of a kimchi seasoning to put on different types of vegetables and fruits that you'd like to. So be sure to check out Madison Chefs by Lindsay Christians for more of those recipes. Okay. Yes. Whoa, I think we have a special guest. Y'all, please welcome one of my favorite people that I've met on the campaign trail. I think it was last time when we were in Beaver Dam. Erica, thank you for being here.
Hello,
Hi.
hello, hi.
Oh my gosh, it's really you again. It's you.
I'm so excited to be here.
Excited.
Am I on this side?
You can be wherever you'd like.
Okay. Hello. Oh. One hug is not enough, I swear. I'm
Thank you
so
for
excited.
coming.
Thank you for having me. This is wild and crazy because I was just telling them out there that March is when the Democratic convention or the meeting in Beaver Dam was.
Oh yes.
And
that was March.
It was March. I was thinking about it on my drive here because I'm like, when was that? And that I went there. I'd never gone to a meeting before.
Oh, well, can we tell?
Yes, go ahead.
Can we tell chat and our stream folks, how did we meet?
Yes. So
And who are you? You're
who
fabulous.
am I? My name is Erica. I am Oh That Mom Glow on all of the social medias. I have been posting kind of whatever the heck I feel like.
Unfiltered, unbothered,
Very
to the
much.
point. It's fantastic. Y'all need to
thank you.
follow Oh That Mom Glows.
Thank you. But yeah, I started posting a couple years ago, and then politics became a passion when, shit hit the fan, right? And so I started doing things and dabbling and just trying to explain things and learn as I went, and just sharing that vulnerability and that lack of understanding everything that was going on, because politics is huge and complicated and confusing. And so I went to the meeting in Beaver Dam.
A Dem count. It was the Columbia County Democratic.
Dodge County.
Dodge County Dems meeting.
Yes. And I had never gone to one before, but I saw you were going to be there, and I knew I was leaning towards you. And so my husband was like, you have to go. And I'm very much like, I don't want to go to people. I don't want to see people. I don't want to talk to people. And he's like, you have to go. I know you want to go. And so he took the kids and I went. I was talking to my friends, freaking out the whole way because I don't like meeting people.
Meeting people is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's become my day-to-day, but
I can't even imagine. Thank you, Lexapro, for making me available here today.
We love.
It's the only thing. It's like if you ask my husband what should we take to a deserted island, it's me and Lexapro.
Hey, you got to have those plans in place.
Correct.
You don't know what's going to happen.
You do. So we went there,
Responsible.
we chatted. I fell in love with you immediately. Just so warm and welcoming and so honest and authentic and real. And it just felt like I was so jazzed when I left. So driving there, I was just like, oh my God. And on the drive home, I was just like, oh my God, I love her. I talked the whole way home. And then I posted that video that you saw.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the reason that video, I left that meeting exhausted.
I bet.
And you never quite know. I mean, our Dem County Party meetings, we have got so many ardent volunteers, Dem volunteers across the state, have been organizing. And in special places like Dodge County, they're pretty red.
Yeah.
And so these are folks you gotta show up and show out for. But when I learned that you went to this meeting to hear me speak, I realized that this is actually something about the campaign that I hadn't really taken that seriously before. Was this is how we build that coalition.
Yeah.
If we can find central spaces where new folks can meet with people who have been organizing for Dems, and if we if we can be the campaign that helps connect folks to other like-minded people on how we can organize, whether that's door knocking or text banking, for you to post that video about what the meeting was like for you, it gave me such a sense of conviction and like, oh, we're really doing some shit. I needed to see that.
I'm so glad, because that's what I love about your campaign too, is like you're always so authentic and vulnerable, and that's how I always want to show up in all of my spaces. I love when people comment to me and they say, you're so real, or like, I really understand and connect with that, and that's so important to me. So to feel like I met you and I just like instantly clicked, I was like, I feel like I know her. It's just cool and real, and I feel like that's the beautiful thing about social media, and that's why I have continued to show up in all of the spaces, because there's always, when I'm feeling like the lowest, there's always somebody who's like I was for you to me, somebody that shows up in my DMs and it's just like, you're doing this and it's making a difference to me.
That's huge.
That is so huge.
Well, because this work is grueling, right?
Yeah.
And why organizing is hard is ultimately it's about building relationships, and that's really hard. But
so
beyond
hard.
that, you know, this system doesn't want us to be organizing right now.
Yeah.
They don't want us to make connections. They don't want us to build community. So when we do, that's where we get to celebrate that we're building also the resistance to a system that's not serving us. And I know that, well, you kick ass at social media.
Thank you.
And connecting with people and being real with folks. And one thing that you're doing, something that you're doing right now that I really appreciate, is you're talking about democratic socialism and how it shows up in so many ways in our lives, and how this campaign, we're really just trying to extend that forward to help more people.
Yeah.
So tell me about like what some of that response has been, because your audience and my audience were starting to converge, but we still got different lanes. Yeah.
Literally my first note here is, what the hell is democratic socialism? Because I feel like it's so misunderstood.
Yeah.
I get a lot of not great comments. I get lots of people attacking me. Yep, I get lots of people totally not understanding what democratic socialism is, shouting communism at me. And every insult under the book, which is why I have reclaimed a lot of them and why I just like curse and swear and call myself everything, because I'm like, you can't hurt me if I'm using it. So I try to ignore and block what I can. But the most important thing to me is to find tiny digestible pieces that are understandable for people. Yeah. And I heard you on the podcast yesterday say that the Packers are like a democratic socialism. I own a piece of the Packers.
Yeah.
So
publicly owned professional football team.
It's so cool. And
it works beautifully.
It is
and
wonderful.
It's for the public, it's by the public. And because it is not totally rooted in profit, it has carried on for years and years and years.
It has. And I feel like we can really, in the state of Wisconsin, that's something people understand. Yeah. People are proud to own a piece of the Packers. Yeah. Like, I've got it on my license plate. You know, like people love that.
And you're in a pretty rural area, right?
Very rural, very red. Live? I live in Dodge County. I live a little south of Fond du Lac, and it is very, very red. Yeah.
And someone told me at one of our meetings, they lived in rural Dane County.
Okay.
And they're like, socialism shows up in rural communities every day.
All the co-op
like,
stuff.
Say more. Yes, the farmer co-ops, but also being like knowing that your neighbor will show up and snowplow your driveway before you even are going out with your blower. That if somebody's barn gets struck by lightning or there's a tornado or whatever the fuck, the whole community comes in to help clean up, to help rebuild, to host fundraisers. I mean, this, like the social contract mutual agreement rooted in care. Socialism is ultimately about care.
Yeah.
And the word Democrat and social is in it, which you know, I feel like most folks are down for those things.
Yes.
You would think.
And they just don't. I think one of the things people are struggling with democratic socialism is they hear socialism and that's like the big scary word. And they're forgetting that the Democrat part is also there. And so I've been trying to make sure that people understand it is that together. It is democratic socialism. It is not just socialism.
Well, the other piece, I think it's important for folks to know that we are focused on solutions.
Yes.
It's the socialist policies that are the solutions for so many of our problems right now, caused by hypercapital, by corruption, by corporate greed, by corporatist politicians. And so when we make it about the solution and not just the label, I think it helps folks to understand that, democratic socialism is making sure that access to a great public school, we extend that to public universities.
Yeah.
That small businesses and our farmers that are small business owners, that they have access to capital like some of the big farms and the big companies do, right? And so I hope folks, if digestible means bringing it back to issues that people think about every day. Potholes, public schools, healthy school meals for kids. I think most folks would agree that we should feed kids, that our kids should have a good education, and that when folks are, that we have fewer struggles so that we're not just responding to crisis all the time, but we're giving people opportunities to thrive.
How do we, one of the things that I am struggling with is a lot of the response I get is, well, we're just going to give people money and they're going to be lazy. People are just lazy. And if we give them free things, we're just going to keep them lazy. And I don't think that way.
No, it's fed to us every day by Fox News, and Republicans will go, they'll say the same thing over and over again. And I think what's important is we bring it down to Wisconsin pride, right? Like, Wisconsinites work hard. Wisconsinites are working, doing everything that they're supposed to do right, sometimes working 2, 3 jobs. And we're out here telling them that that's not enough when there's corporate welfare and corporate tax subsidies, and our taxes are going to pay for tax breaks for the wealthiest. If anyone right now is getting welfare, it's corporations and the ultra wealthy who are sitting back and watching their wealth grow, where, democratic socialism, that's about putting working class people first. It's not free things, we've been paying for it. We all drive on the same roads. The firefighters, the ambulances, these emergency services that our tax dollars go to, they're not gonna, they're not responding to you. They're not gonna respond to you because you're a billionaire.
They're gonna show up
and
anyways.
So these social contracts, these services already exist. They should, they should exist equitably to everyone. It's not about the free things. It's about making sure people have what they need.
And I like to go in believing people are inherently good. And I feel like that's missing sometimes. And so I try to remind people of that as well, because I think if you look at things from inherent good rather than inherent evil, you can make change a lot better, a lot easier.
And government has to be a force of good. We are conditioned to think that government is dysfunctional, that we need to rely on the private sector. But here's the thing, we have been using that playbook and it's gotten us here. So trying something new isn't so novel right now, because I think it's what this moment requires.
I would agree. One of the things that I've been responding to people, I think it's from The Simpsons. They say, we've tried nothing, let's keep doing that. It's like, if we're here, we're 250 years in and this is where we're at. Why not try something else?
I think folks are so ready.
I agree.
And it upsets me when candidates underestimate our voters.
Yeah.
When pundits and consultants underestimate voters, that we assume that just because, people shouldn't accept politicians telling them when change is possible. You should determine when that happens, not them.
And that's the power to the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the democratic socialist.
Yeah, it's a
core.
more democratic economy. It's a more democratic, that's, if we want a strong democracy, I think it's only achievable through democratic socialism.
So if I would say, what the hell is democratic socialism? You would say,
Public schools, Packers, and potholes.
love it. Nice and digestible. It's easily understandable.
I think having more democratic control. People deserve to have more control and more say over their own lives. And right now, so many of the decisions that we make in our lives are being made for us by, corporate greed, the wealthiest. I think we have a freer society and a more democratic society when we implement socialist policies.
I would agree. I also, when people's basic needs are met and you're not completely struggling to just stay above water.
Yeah.
Just the pure joy and self-expression that you can have sounds wonderful.
Well, think about how many we are robbing people of creativity, of pursuing new small businesses and entrepreneurship. If your healthcare is tied to your job, if you're not able to get paid leave or childcare and you decide to stay out of the workforce, there are so many ways that we could be building a much healthier, productive community. But when things like healthcare, housing, food, and education are getting harder and harder to attain, you have fewer and fewer expressions.
Yeah.
And that's boring.
It is boring.
And we shouldn't be out here saying, folks, let's make it so things are, folks aren't struggling as much, that they're getting, just above water. It's like, no, that's not the conversation we should be having.
No.
We should be having a conversation about the right to retire, to be able to take a vacation, to not be so stressed, to have life be easier, not feel like there's something wrong with that. I remember watching a video of a woman who works in counseling, and she was like, nothing has regulated my system more than knowing that my rent is not going to go up for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I think the economic pressure, stress, how much that just takes over our daily lives, how we regulate our emotions, our thoughts, we all deserve much more freedom than that.
Yeah.
And democratic socialism can make it so that you have more freedom to live the life that you want.
Clip that, team. Man.
I'm still gonna need therapy even after knowing
It's
my
good.
rent's not gonna go up. But that just means we should be thinking about all different levels of thriving instead of just saying, well, let's figure out the best solution to make sure that people are just getting by. No, fuck that.
Yeah, that also ties into people being like, well, I had to do this, so you have to. That is the worst. I hate that. I hate it so much, because why would you want to do that to somebody? That's not a very empathetic.
Well, that's the Republican and oftentimes the corporatist playbook, is that they want us to be in fear of one another. They want us to be pit against one another,
Absolutely.
to think in more of scarcity, yet think about, we get to think in abundance too.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to rest. Last I heard, rest is resistance, and because we don't get to do it often.
Rest and joy.
Yeah. I'm gonna plug in. Have you met Timothy Faust, our glorious policy
not.
director?
I have not.
And he is going to make plugs throughout the stream.
Okay.
Asking folks to support our campaign.
Perfect.
There is a donation link, I believe. Somewhere in chat. I didn't say the chat. I'm still getting used to that. Hi, chat. Tim, do you have any color commentary to bring into
24/7 color commentary.
24/7 color commentary? Can we also, do we have
kaleidoscope.
Tim? Thanks.
Oh,
yes.
hi.
That is Tim's slumber party outfit.
Yeah, this is how I sleep. I'm always ready to go. As the policy director, I got to be prepared at all times, and this is how I get prepared. I want to shout out Kelsey in Madison for giving $100. Thank you very, very much.
Thank
Daniel
you,
also
Kelsey.
Madison for $50. Karen in Madison for $1,050, which is completely insane. We've got people.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Edward in Embarrassed, Wisconsin, $10. Amy in Jackson for $100. Renee in Amherst, $5. Thank you all so much. We've got 42 days before the primary, and
That's crazy.
boy, am I counting them down. And every dollar goes directly into getting people on doors, on phones. Gets Fran across the state. I think Fran put like 5,000 miles in the car in the month of May, and all that takes cash. There are folks in this race that are raising $2, $3, $4 million from people that have $2, $3, $4 million to give. That's not who we're talking to. That's not who this campaign is for. And so, they've got the money, we've got the people. Any help you can give goes a real long way. I assure you, it's a pretty thrifty campaign. We haven't even paid for YouTube Red, so everything is it's pretty bare bones. We really appreciate it. A couple of questions from chat that I think people want to talk about. One is, what does fully funding schools mean? Why aren't schools funded? What's the deal? With school funding?
Whew.
Just, small little.
Yeah, no, the school funding formula in Wisconsin is chaotic. And for the last 16 years, under a Republican-ruled legislature, we have systematically underfunded our public schools. Now, what that means is essentially costs are going up. The state is not meeting its requirement to fund schools at 2/3 funding. We've got, in smaller numbers, right now, the state is underfunding each student by about $3,000 in what they're supposed to get in per pupil funding. Now, we've got a second school system that we fund where public dollars are going to an unaccountable voucher system. Now, the state can't afford to fund two school systems. And what's happening is oftentimes our public dollars are going into private schools. And so what fully funded public schools means to me is first 90% special education reimbursement. So that puts us in parity, or that's what a lot of the voucher schools receive for their special education funding. We'll also have to bring our school funding back up to 2/3 and meet our constitutional obligation to ensure that if you check out Article 10, Section 3, that every child has a sound and basic public education with uniform funding. We do not have right now anywhere near fully funded public schools. And fully funded public schools for me means that there's adequate, predictable, sustainable funding for public schools, that we're closing income disparities, that we're ensuring that whether you're in a rural, suburban, or urban community, your school has the resources, not just to keep its lights on, but to be able to hire more teachers, to give teachers raises, to make sure that we're not pitting communities against one another. Because when the state doesn't fund the schools are forced to go to referenda and put property taxes against property taxpayers and force folks to raise their own property taxes just to help keep the lights on in their schools. And so we know when there's strong public schools, we have strong communities. It's essential that if we want a strong democracy, we have strong public education in our state. That's why it's one of my #1 priorities, is to make sure that we do right by our kids, we do right by our schools and our communities by fully funding them.
If I can jump in here, we also can't forget that schools have been asked to do more and more and more and more while getting less and less money, right?
Yes.
Like the lack of infrastructure, the lack of community funding, the lack of safe places to go, the lack of quality, affordable housing, the lack of healthcare, all these problems kind of compound, and we ask schools to solve all these problems for all of us.
Yes.
So they're being asked to do so much more, to be community centers, to be healthcare clinics, to be social workers. And at the same time, they're getting less and less money, and we're siphoning off so much cash to give to totally unaccountable, totally opaque voucher schools. We're punishing schools for being forced to do really, really hard work that it's not profitable to do and nobody else does.
Yeah. I think it's, communities are a reflection, schools are a reflection of their communities. And so it takes an entire community to make sure that we're keeping our schools strong. And the state government has a responsibility to make sure we have stronger communities by stronger schools, by making sure that we're actually ensuring every kid has their basic needs met.
I love that too. If you think about how much good a school can do, just like each kid, if one kid has their basic needs met and then can live in a creative, joyful place, what that kid can accomplish. And just kind of seeing that extrapolate throughout the state would just be the coolest. And you want to have children that are loving school and have this joyful look on education. I just think it could change so much.
Well, and schools are the heart of their communities, right? It's where we have the celebrations. It's where, in a lot of smaller communities, that's where the big events happens, the fundraisers, the fairs, the athletic events. They're also some of the largest employers in a community. So when a school closes or is at risk of closing, it devastates that entire community. And it's about doing right for our kid and making sure that every kid has an opportunity to be at their best, to learn. But I think that it goes even further, that our public schools, they impact every part of the community.
Absolutely.
And I think for underfunding, undercutting communities by underfunding public schools, I think it can tear a lot of communities apart. We also have to recognize that in communities like Milwaukee, Racine, because so many of our schools have been asked to do more and more, it's, I think, a symptom of neglecting a lot of the needs of communities in Milwaukee, Madison too, that's led to a lot of this division in the voucher program and the public school program. We need to make sure that we're meeting the needs and serving all of our students and making sure that their families are, if we address housing insecurity, healthcare, making sure that there are community centers, that there's access to good public health clinics. These are all things that help make sure that when working class families are doing well, our students are going to do well in their public schools too. It's all interconnected. And Tim said is absolutely right, with our schools being asked to do more because the services, not even services, the opportunities for working class folks aren't there. So much of that burden goes on the schools to do more than just educate our kids, but really have to provide the wraparound services.
Yeah, and then that goes into like the universal child care that you've been talking about. I have some friends that are really going through it right now. Like my kids are 12 and 9, so we're just out of daycare,
We still got summer camps.
Yes.
We still got summer programs.
And it's so hard for people, especially in rural communities, to find childcare. My sister has a 5-month-old and she drives 2 towns over to find a daycare that her son can go to. And that kind of stuff is something that you speak really strongly about as well.
We have to be talking about childcare, especially right now, because today is actually the final day of the direct provider payments that were going to so many childcare providers across the state. And we didn't adequately fund this program in this last budget. And so, and that was the decision of the Republicans. What it's going to mean is you will start to see providers having to raise rates when we already have families struggling to pay for the costs of childcare. You will see some folks having to leave the profession. Those funds were being used to help with wages, to help keep, operations, capital building costs, what have you. The end of that program, I think we're underestimating how much it's going to hurt our communities. And so fighting for free childcare, ensuring that we are paying childcare workers adequate wages, living wages with good benefits, and making sure providers can keep their door open. One of the single most important investments that we can be making in our state is in early childhood education. I'm very concerned as to what's happening because the legislature didn't take action on these direct provider payments. And I think not only is it going to be more folks having to choose between going back to work or taking care of their kid because there isn't affordable childcare. Right now, the cost of childcare can be upwards of a full year of tuition at one of our UW system schools.
That's crazy.
And it's going to be when you lose your child, your neighborhood childcare provider, our center, and childcare is only affordable or attainable for folks who are able to afford what is available. I worry what that's going to mean for the quality of life, the different choices that working class families have.
I absolutely agree. And I always want your child care workers to be adequately paid because they're literally taking care of your children.
Yeah, they're taking care of our babies.
And they're amazing people. Like, I loved the people who were taking care of my children. You hug them and you're sad when you leave.
And it's also like Godspeed because I love my kids, but I cannot.
Correct. Please don't breathe on me.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I'm like, I need personal space. Please.
No.
But I always wanted to make sure that they were getting adequately paid as well because I want them to care about their job. I want them to care about my children. Yeah. And they deserve to have
and so many of them do it because they love it.
They love it so
much.
But
you hit a breaking point,
you do.
Right? Because I talk to a lot of childcare educators who, they may have master's degrees, and it's harder for some of the places that they're working to offer benefits. You might be making too much to qualify for health benefits through Medicaid, or your wage is, it's a living wage, but after you pay for benefits, is it enough for food and groceries and vacation? This system is not working. It's untenable, and that's why I think one of the most important things we have to do in this next budget is to make sure that we are funding our schools, that we are providing those direct provider payments to childcare centers, that we're increasing wages, and this investment has to come, and we can and we should pay for it by making the wealthiest and some of our largest corporations actually pay their fair share in taxes. Because this is all infrastructure, but it's also the right thing to do. We need to take care of all of our babies.
I loved that you called childcare and public funding or public schools infrastructure. I had never heard anybody look at it that way, and it makes so much sense. It's just logical to me.
Yeah, and it's like, I love the way you put, we have to, these are human, very essential human needs, to take care of a child.
Yes.
And, but ultimately you cannot have a strong economy. We have to keep our dollars in our state. That happens when we have good jobs in our state, like in childcare centers, like paying our educators and in our public school systems. And that all is part of a care economy, and our public schools are part of our larger economy. And the universal language sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, is money.
Yeah.
So it's a way that I often talk about it with Republican colleagues, but you're absolutely right. It makes sense in a way that, when parents can't go to work because they don't have childcare, their kid is sick, and they don't have anyone to take care of them. I mean, this is all part of the local economic structures. And so a care economy is infrastructure. It's as important as our roads and our bridges, paid leave, childcare, public education, care work, caregiving, at-home caregiving. These are not jobs that can just be automated right now. They
Not at
require
all.
people, an immense amount of emotional and mental labor. It requires folks who genuinely understand how important it is to like have human to human connection and to show that care. I think care work is some of the most undervalued work. So if we don't make these types of investments now, we're looking at so many different parts of the community get weakened.
I think that part of the reason you're building so much excitement and this movement here is because you can take a step back and lead with empathy and joy. And I think a lot of the decisions you make and a lot of the policy you have put forward explains that. It shows that in tiny little increments where, like, if we just look empathetically and we help create joy, it just seems so simple when you think of it that way. And I think a lot of the stuff you do goes that way. And it's wonderful in this world of politics that doesn't ever feel that way. And it helps people feel less disillusioned. It makes people want to be engaged again. It makes people want to step forward and take a chance when it's like, oh, this person understands me and this person is joyful.
Well,
Structure. I wanted to take
joy
a second.
and infrastructure.
Volunteers and supporters are the joyful infrastructure of our campaign. I wanted to take a second to make some joyful noises for this volume of support we've got. Anjali and Madison just gave us $50. Annabelle and Jackson gave $360.
Oh my
We got
gosh.
Max and Appleton giving $30.
Thank you.
We
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Keep scrolling down. Daniel in Brownsville, $42. Lisa in De Pere, $100.
Thank you, Lisa.
Travis
Thank you,
in
Danny.
Kokana with a very cheeky $86.47. Lots of people are making their voices heard. Once again, this is the only way that our campaign prospers is if people like you at home or, I don't know, on the bus or whatever help us out. So please feel free to go to franhong.com/donate. I was also asked to shout out Portage County.
Yes.
And so I want to shout out all my favorite Portage County cities and towns like Whiting, Amherst Junction, Nelsonville, Stevens Point, Plover, Arnott, and Amherst.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
We love Portage County. I owe Portage County Dems office a visit. We'll be coming out soon. Shout out to Gary. I also need to give credit because Tim, your background is beautiful.
It's
I know our set is stunning. This is the work of Jennifer Bastian. She had this exhibit when there was communication. It was what was up during COVID. She had this over her house. The sun will find us in excavation of love.
It's
And
beautiful.
please follow Jenny Bastian. Her work is incredible. She is a curator, artist, an amazing mom, someone who truly believes in building community through art as resistance. And we're very, very grateful to Jenny for lending us her work to be able to feature on our stream. It's please, please, please support local artists in your community. And I have to say that talking about joy, policy, and infrastructure, what makes the policy, though, is the people and the stories. And as much as I and Tim and I love to go into the details of policies, when you're able to connect it directly to a story from someone, and for me, the childcare story is when I was in Hortonville at a coffee shop there, and I met two amazing childcare providers who showed up with folders, envelopes, papers, data, what was happening in the childcare industry in our state. They have been in this fight since COVID, and I think that you see how much people care, not only the work of taking care of the kids and their business, but recognizing that for the entire state, our communities, and our economy, childcare has to be in the equation and a priority. It is something, regardless of your relationship with childcare, it impacts you.
It absolutely does. I have a friend who is working behind the scenes and doing stuff with the child care stuff. She's been going to all the different leaders in the state. And so the beautiful thing about my tiny little community of friends is we each kind of have a thing that we focus on, and then we can come together and be like, okay, you're going to explain childcare to me. I'm going to explain this to you. It's this wonderful
we're organizing
community. And so before I showed up here, I was like, Taylor, tell me some stuff about childcare.
Love it.
And so it's
shout out
wonderful.
to Taylor.
Yes, Taylor. Hello.
Thank you. Okay, so you have I gotta shout it out here because I love it. Feral for Fran.
Feral for Fran.
So you're building in organizing influencers.
Yes, essentially that was the plan.
How is that going?
It's fun. It's great. It was just kind of like how can we do this? How can I have ideas, but I know I only have ideas for my tiny rural community and how that works with my people. How can we expand that and make sure we're all kind of staying on the same page? We're all helping each other. And so I just started cold DMing people and just being like, you posted about Fran. Hey, how's it going? I just searched your hashtag and just went after people.
Rocks. But digital organizing is, I'm hearing about it even at Democratic County Party meetings now. It's an important organizing tool for folks to have. And it's beyond the comments and the reshares, you know, to be able to personalize, to be able to do that advocacy work in digital spaces that's localized and organized. And you're fucking doing it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Been so fun.
Thank you. Also, I love alliteration. So Feral for Fran was
I was like, come on, we have to roll with this. It's bringing me joy, right? And joy is good. So it's been fun to connect, and we can share what's working, what's not working. We can share what's coming up, what's important. If people are seeing something, we just can share links back and forth.
And you learn about each other's communities, who your audiences are, where they are.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I love it.
And what is all of folks? Be sure to follow Erica at Oh That Mom Glow.
Yes.
On TikTok.
I am TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Anywhere. We're the same thing. I was somehow able to be Oh That Mom Glow in all of the places.
Yes, well, you're fucking glowing,
Well,
and I
thank
appreciate you
you.
so much. Thank you
I
for
had a
your
blast.
support.
Thank
you
you.
for coming.
Thank you so much. Let's do this, right?
We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this. All right.
love it.
Thank you so much
Thank
again.
you. Have a wonderful time, everybody.
Thanks, Erica.
All
right.
Very appreciative right now.
Yeah.
Boy, let me tell you all the reasons why. I want to say I'm very appreciative for Michael, who just gave us $27 from Sun Prairie.
Michael, thank you.
For Timothy, which is a wonderful name, who just gave us $100 from Verona. For Skeeter, gave us $40 from Taylor. And from Kimberly, giving us a big $500 from Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, thank you so much, Kimberly.
You really are the
Taylor.
sunshine of our lives. You are the silver linings to our gray days. Today is the last day of the financial period for this reporting deadline. And this together is how we make a statement, how
Truly.
we prove that we're a serious force to contend with, on top of the nonstop wall-to-wall thousands of supporters across the state that are showing up to knock doors, make phone calls, which you should do too. This has been really, really tremendous. And it's been so cool getting to see people in the comments, in person, at events, talking about how this campaign, Fran, is really about hope and dreaming of a better future. Not just dreaming, making a better future, demanding a better future.
It has stuck with me. The last Friday we were at St. Croix Falls, and I was leaving. The county party meeting was at the American Legion there, and was walking out and had a couple of women tell me that they were excited to be hopeful again. And I told them that they deserve to have hope. I think it's something that we shouldn't just hold on to. It's something that we get to deserve, we reclaim, and we, I don't know.
One thing you said yesterday is that people are upset, people are hurt, people are really hurt.
Yeah,
You know,
people are
this
in
is
pain.
Yeah, pain.
Yeah.
This could be a pretty cruel world sometimes, right? People don't have health care, don't have child care. They want for shelter or food, the basic building blocks of the things we need to lead decent lives. And people do feel a lot of pain. One thing you've been amazing at is acknowledging that pain is legitimate and it's real, and that people deserve so much better than that, and that we can have better. That better is possible, that we make better possible.
I don't want folks' struggles and pains to be talking points or even minimized to just food on the table, right? That, your struggles, stress, it's not only real, but it's the job of government and your elected officials to alleviate and provide more opportunities for you to be able to live the lives that you want. And I don't think we're told enough that we deserve better. And the people deserve better from their government. And I think more and more folks across the country right now are demanding it, and that's powerful.
Well, because if you don't tell people that they deserve better, they're never going to ask you for it, right? It's a great way to re-perpetuate a status quo that's harming a lot of people.
Yeah.
I do want to take a quick second to shout out. These things are just pouring in. If you guys don't want me to talk about it, I'm so sorry because I'm so grateful. Philip in West Alice with $10.
Thank
Ethan
you,
in Kenosha, $20. Noah and Sister Bay, $20. There's a bunch more I'm scrolling through. John in Illinois gave us $200. Thanks for visiting.
Thanks,
Kristen
John.
in Stoughton, $50. I mean, this is really, really good. I really, really appreciate it. This entire campaign appreciates it. It's how I keep my dog fed. It's how we keep people on the doors. It's how we keep people on the phones. And it makes a really big difference because, once again, they've got all the money, but we've got all the people by a long shot.
We are, the thing I say at every single town hall is that we are the community-powered campaign with over 6,000 people who have signed up to volunteer with Team Hong. That is what makes us special. That is what makes us different, is that we are proving to folks, and we can win, because this will be the year of the many and not just the money. Now, we have a guest incoming. I am so excited to introduce the fabulous Jamie Lafarge. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, world.
All right, so tell chat and the world who you are and why you are so fabulous, and why we love you so much on this team, and I love you so much.
I love you too. I'm Jamie. I am Fran's event coordinator, and this is my first campaign. I love it. I have had the opportunity to work with so many incredible people. We have the most, can I swear?
Can you swear?
We have the most badass volunteers, and I feel really grateful because when I came into this campaign, things were already moving. Events were moving. My first event with the campaign was 100% volunteer-led Loteria in Milwaukee, and they're just stepping it up. Some of the other day it was like, Milwaukee has all the cool events, and it's like, oh, that's because the people in Milwaukee plan that we can do these all over. We've had a repair shop in Madison.
Oh my
yesterday.
gosh.
That was cool.
What was repair shop? Because I had no idea what this all would entail, and then I saw the pictures, and this was a level of mutual aid and community building that I couldn't have even fathomed before.
Full disclosure, I did not plan the repair shop. People come to me all like, this was so cool. I'm like, all volunteers. So they were repairing bikes. They were sewing clothes, electronics, lamps.
I saw a KitchenAid. Somebody had their they got to fix their KitchenAid here.
I don't know how to sew a hole in my clothes, so I need to go to the repair shop. We also had a bean event tonight
Okay.
where there was bean cake, there was bean dishes to eat. It had a pun about have you been thinking about Francesca Hong? So
It's just an event around beans.
beans, bring your beans.
That's
So
Thank
that was
you.
a cool one. Bring your own cheese was another one that someone had hosted. We have brews and cues coming up later this week.
See, we get to have creativity, fun, joy in politics. Like that's what's going to make it's how we build a new type of politics, the kind that we need for working class people to know that they have a right to fun, community, joy, and making sure that, there's fair wages, healthcare, housing, and education for everyone.
The other beautiful thing about being here, so this is, as I mentioned, my first campaign. I do a lot of community organizing and events. Single parent, self-employed. I have been through it. Poverty
you're
level
amazing.
above, poverty level above. So having someone like you represent working class people. But the beautiful thing about that is so many people, this is their first campaign. They never thought they'd have a place in politics, myself included. And this is a campaign for the people, by the people. And that's really unique to see. So I never thought I would be working in a campaign, but this is a people power campaign. It really is.
We all belong in politics.
We do.
There haven't been enough of us in it. Maybe that's why it hasn't changed to favor us, to make sure that it's, the people who have a say in their politics every day. This work is grueling. It's easy to kind of be in a tunnel vision of fundraise, look at the numbers, look at the polling, but it's seeing volunteers connect the campaign to their communities in ways that we wouldn't have been able to do just as staff, right? When you have ambassadors and folks who are making campaigns and politics more accessible because it's something that is going to be more fun or interesting, people are curious about it, and you don't feel like you're getting a politics dumped on you. You get to go someplace and kind of experience it, taste it here and there, if you will. It's a politics tasting.
Yeah. And we've hosted almost 300 events throughout the whole state.
300?
So, that's right. Almost. So if you go to franhong.com/events, there are a list of events all over the state. I want to say almost all of them are volunteer led, which is beautiful. So if you're looking at it and you're like, why are there no events happening in my area? Let's make it happen. Because really, anyone.
And Jamie's the person who
Find
can help
me.
make it happen.
I'll help you make it happen. We're going all over.
We have to.
We have to.
It's and that's where so much of the fundraising that we do goes to help us reach more voters across the state. We have to out-hustle every campaign. We have to meet people where they are at, in spaces where they may not be expecting a candidate. We have to make sure that our amazing staff are supported, that we're able to grow, get on the air, but most importantly, give our volunteers the resources that they need to be able to help strengthen this campaign. When you are community powered, it means that you are community backed. And I couldn't do this if community didn't have my back. So whatever you're able to give today or the time that you're able to donate, organizing an event, hitting the phones with us, hitting doors with us, maybe writing postcards, hosting play dates. These are all things that matter to this campaign. If it matters to you, how you reach your community, we want to know about it. francescahong.com/events. Jamie's also, plug in your photography business here, please. Yes. She is an award-winning photographer.
Oh, this isn't about me now. I do. That is what led me here.
Support our businesses.
Another part of what led me here, small business. I love people. I love hearing people's stories. I love sharing people's stories, which led me to storytelling, which led me to politics. And like I said, if even 6 months ago, I started like almost 6 months ago. A week before I started the campaign, if somebody would have been like, "You will be on a campaign," I'm like, "No," but I'm here and I love it. And I felt like a long time there wasn't a place for me in politics, and there is. There's really a place for everyone, and that's the important part. One of the many important parts about this campaign. There really is a place for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for creating the space and being who you are.
Well, it's one thing to create the space, it's another thing to be in line, checked. That all requires a very patient team Hong that has to deal with me sometimes going rogue, not following directions.
It's okay though. We know, because then we adapt and we move with that. It's good. And your rogue is always in the right direction.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to use that again. Everybody hear that? Jamie said my rogue is moving in the right direction.
We love it. It's got to be a little.
Well, Tim, do we have any questions for Jamie or me, or can we shout out some
I have a
another
question
county?
that I want to save for our next guest, but we've got plenty of names coming in. I'd love to read out. Off the dome, we've got Elena in Wrightstown, who gave us a generous gift of $10.
Oh, thank you. And I heard from a couple different folks who live in Wrightstown when I was up in the Brown County Dems meeting. I know y'all are doing some amazing organizing there with a data center proposal. We see the work. Continue to stay in the fight. Please reach out to our campaign if you'd like to learn more about our AI data center proposals and plans. It's francescahong.com/policy. We've got Control-Alt-Delete, firewall, and labor shift, protecting workers and consumers in the era of AI and taking on AI data centers.
That's right. And I'd love to talk about that at some point later tonight, because it's one of
Oh,
the
we
things
will.
I've written. But also, what I would also love to talk about is names like Danny from Milwaukee, who gave us $100.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
Aaron from De Pere, who pitched in 20.
Hey, De Pere.
James from West Dallas with a very generous $100.
Oh, thank you, James.
Ryan from Eau Claire, also with $100.
Yes, Western Wisconsin.
Sarah from Oshkosh with $10.
Thank you, Sarah.
There's more than I can read. I'm just scrolling around, but lastly for now, Tyler from Appleton, my hometown, with a wonderful $50 donation.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Yes, I've been hearing from a lot of folks in Appleton. We are gonna get out to Northeast Wisconsin very soon. And where can folks find out more about when our events are that I may be at?
So, if you are interested in getting more involved in the campaign and finding out about Fran's events, where she will be specifically, we would love to have you sign up to volunteer, where we will soon be sending out a volunteer email that will have all of her appearances on there. And also, franhong.com/events. We primarily post on their events that we host, but those emails will also have some forums and other ways that you can see Fran when she's out and about, even speaking at Dems parties. It's a great way. I've had so many people who have said they've never been to a Dems meeting, but you went to one and now they go all the time. So
we love that.
And that's another part of this fundraising aspect is gas is expensive still, but we want to get Fran all over. We see the inquiries come in. And that's really what the dollars go towards.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're doing everything that we can to reach as many communities as we can. It does take those dollars. Gas prices are high. Tax dollars should not be going to fund forever wars. And we're going to continue to fight back against that. But I think one of the best ways to fight against this regime right now is to build community, is to provide as many state protections as we can, and strengthen workers' rights, worker freedoms, and make sure that our kids are taken care of. These are all ways that I think we don't talk enough about as ways to continue to keep each other safe in an era of Trump authoritarianism.
So one thing that I really appreciate about this campaign is that Fran's gone almost literally everywhere, right? Jamie said there's 300 events. I know I just said in May, put 5,000 miles on the tires in this campaign. But that's not just, college Democrats. It's not just young people, though young folks tend to really, really like what this campaign is all about. But Fran, you've talked to a lot of people in rural areas. You've even talked to conservative people. I know because I've been there with you when it happens. So what have you found has kind of brought people together, regardless of whether they're rural or urban, conservative, liberal, moderate? Like what are unifying themes that you're finding that people really resonate with when you talk about your campaign?
I think first and foremost is actually holding accountable the villains that people are now realizing are the common villains, that it's corporate corruption and corporate greed. It's ultra rich and billionaires. It's lobbyists that are getting, that are lining the pockets of politicians. Talking about fair taxation, about taxing the rich and holding corporations accountable so that more of our money stays in our communities, stays in our pockets, is something that resonates regardless of zip code, generation, where you're at in the state. The other thing is folks are deeply concerned around, really concerned around healthcare. And whether you're a young person who may not be on your parents' insurance anymore, you're someone who is on a fixed income, or you're someone who is at risk of losing Medicaid, healthcare is, I hear about it at almost every meeting that I'm at. And I think what's very unique, and we'll get into this even more because Timothy Faust also happens to be a healthcare expert, we're the only campaign actually talking about not just lowering healthcare costs, but actually taking on the hospitals and insurance companies, things that are making our healthcare costs go up, which are healthcare prices. And you can't talk about lowering costs without the piece on regulation. And so when we talk about these plans, it interests folks because we're not just coming out here with ideas. These are actual policy plans where we want to not only show how we're going to implement them, but that we are going to pay for them. And this is something that should have been done for a while. It takes both political will, political courage, and bringing together a legislature to make sure that they're having to answer to their constituencies, because we're letting more and more folks know that these are some of the reasons why your healthcare costs are high, is because we got hospitals out here profiting, not paying their share of taxes, hospitals getting tax exemptions, not putting that money into where it needs to be, like rural healthcare. We'll talk about that a whole lot more because Tim's really excited to talk about that more with me, but
it's pretty much the only thing I talk about when I'm at home by myself with people. One thing you talked about earlier that I thought was really interesting is how it's universal, rural, urban, suburban. A lot of people feel that they're kind of being run roughshod over by large corporations, that they get to make decisions about what our lives look like, and we don't really get to have a say in it.
Yeah.
And one thing we talked about recently that I think really speaks to that is advocating for right to repair. It affects all kinds of folks, whether you want to get your car fixed or whether you own a tractor and John Deere says you can't get it repaired unless you pay them and their dealership, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000. That's a way that a corporation is exercising privilege over your ability to live your life the way that you deserve to. And so Fran it's on our policy site. Fran is very aggressively pro right to repair. We've got an expert we consulted who worked on the right to repair bill in Minnesota, who's been giving us a lot of really good advice.
Is Tim still here? Other Tim?
I think other Tim might be in the other room.
We might have to talk about right to repair. Okay.
But it's if you own something, you have the right to be able to repair it.
Yep.
It's open and shut. There's not a lot of wiggle room there. And so Fran has been adamant about this issue, which affects a lot of people, especially small farmers, especially in rural Wisconsin.
See how beautiful this is? I don't hang out with friends and have these conversations. I get to learn so much every day, but we should be learning these things. They're not these out-of-world concepts.
No, and I think it's important, and I have to do a better job at this too. When I say corporate control, it shows up in so many different ways, right? You shouldn't have to pay for information when you purchased a piece of equipment that you aren't able to repair or do the repairs needed on it unless you get permission from the company that you paid for this equipment, it's pretty absurd when you think about all the ways that corporations infiltrate our lives, where I think then the appropriate government response is to make sure that that control is not there anymore.
You know, the government's job is to advocate for people, with people, and alongside people, right? Like, if the
Fight
government
for
doesn't,
people and fight alongside them.
absolutely, because if the government doesn't, if we don't take care of ourselves through the state, then we're letting billionaires, then we're letting the John Deere Corporation make these choices for us. But speaking of choices that were made, I want to celebrate some great choices that were made. When I talk about, for example, London from Milwaukee, who gave us $15.
Thank you, London.
Michael from Milwaukee gave us $50.
Oh, Michael.
Thad, or possibly Tad, I'm so sorry, gave us a very cheeky 8647 from Madison,
Another 86.
which I think is cute. Nicholas gave us 1738. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's also pretty funny. And
Thank you, Nicholas.
Tim from Bethesda, Maryland, jumping in with a $500 donation, which we really
Oh, wow. Thank you, Tim. Shout out East
Tims.
Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty a Tim Moon is rising, which is the second best kind of moon after a harvest moon. One thing we should definitely talk about that's coming up a lot in chat is AI, or AI policies. AI and AI data centers are another like perfect emblematic example of how large corporations, the billionaires that own them, are trying to control what our state looks like and what our lives look like. And legislators often are kind of rolling over and playing dead and letting them do it. I don't know if now is the time for it, but that's a thing. We've got the most aggressive, the most thought through slate about AI and AI policy in this entire race, maybe, you know, in the US among gubernatorial campaigns. And so stick around. I'm sure we'd love to really go into depth about that, talk about data centers, talk about AI.
Stick around. The AI conversation is coming. Jamie, thank you so much for everything that you do in the community. Oh, be sure to check out period parties.
Yes, we host period parties in Milwaukee once a year. It's to raise awareness for period poverty. 1 in 4 people can't afford pads and tampons in Milwaukee. This is all over the state, though. So we just got some friends together. We told them to bring some tampons and pads, and then we threw a period party. But it was my best friend and I, and it was a great reminder of how much impact 1 or 2 people can make in their community.
Yep.
So we do that too, and queer clothing swaps, and monthly entrepreneur support group. We're busy. We're out here.
Busy. And shout out to Milwaukee Diaper Mission. If you'd like to make another contribution, they do amazing work in the community to make sure to tackle what should have never been a thing, which is period poverty, making sure our families across Milwaukee County have access to diapers. All right. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Sure. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm excited for that data center conversation.
We can go real nutso about data centers. You know,
We'll go
24/7
nuts.
full
So
court blitz.
there might be some other things we got to get nuts about first.
For example, Ousmane Deng just re-signed with the Bucks for a mere $17.5 million. We've got 3 more years of Ousmane, which I think is great. For example, on the Milwaukee Bucks for the career of Nate Ament. You got any thoughts about that?
Wait, that happened today?
It happened like an hour ago, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
So now we've got I think Taylor Jenkins can really keep building him up. But one thing I really want to build up is passing it off to our next guest.
We have a very special guest here today, one of my favorite, or possibly my favorite colleague in the state legislature. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, foes, the Representative Darren Madison.
How's it going?
Hi!
I brought pizza.
Pizza for the slumber party?
Got to.
Thank you, my friend. What kind of pizza?
So, what we got is we got some ravioli pizza.
Wait, what?
That's new to me. But we also have Smokey the Bandit.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna wait. I don't know if you saw the Hassan stream, but the starch on starch there is. You know what? Let's keep an open mind.
Oh, it's blasphemous?
It's not blasphemous. I just, I have some hesitations around starch on starch, but I mean, George loves macaroni pizza. the famous Ian's mac and cheese pizza, so I'm not gonna knock it.
I'm not the biggest fan of the mac and cheese pizza.
Starch on starch.
I feel
There's a
you.
time for it, but those times are infrequent.
Fair.
Wait, do we have mac and cheese pizza?
There is.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I think we have
Oh,
to
don't
give.
ya.
Oh, don't you
Oh,
know?
don't ya
I
know.
think we gotta give
gonna be the end
give
of Tim on
Tim
the
here
screen.
a break from chat, and Darren and I will hold down the fort,
Straight up.
so you can go enjoy your starch on starch.
Yeah, you gotta get fed, dog.
Darren, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be here.
I'm
And
so
I was
glad you're
I
here.
can be here to help you feed the people.
Feed the people with power and knowledge.
Absolutely. You know, also feature amazing staffers.
We have an amazing team.
Dude.
Nothing happens on a campaign without an amazing campaign staff. Nothing happens in any elected official's office without amazing staff.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where it's like I don't fuck with people who are disrespectful to staff.
Dude, they can't be trusted.
No.
I
And
mean,
most
how-
elected officials, their staffers are smarter than them.
Oh, 100%.
I would say actually, yeah, 100% of the time.
100% of the time.
So that's like that's the red line for
Yeah.
me.
And we have some of the coolest staff in
We
the building.
really do.
You know, who have, you know, amazing acumen as it relates to a wide variety of issues.
Yeah.
We have folks who specialize in environmental policy,
Mm-hmm.
folks who are looking at amazing topics like the Public Bank of Wisconsin,
Public grocery
public
stores,
grocery stores.
Wisconsin's Green New Deal,
All right, moratoriums on data centers.
tenants our tenant protection package,
Yup, looking at our healthcare system,
conditions of confinement and carceral reform.
straight up.
We've done so much work as a socialist
Yeah.
caucus. Oh my gosh.
You know, we
so-
cook. We cook. And you were a cook.
I was a cook. I was a line cook for a long time.
Again, Fran has always been feeding the people. Before she was in office, now she's been in office. And when she is in the governor's mansion, we're going to be feeding the people there too.
have to.
Because at the end of the day, government should be a force for good, right?
Absolutely.
So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about why we might need public grocery stores.
So, especially in communities like Milwaukee and Madison, we are seeing what I call not actually food deserts, but food apartheid,
Yeah.
where it has been systematically designed to keep access to healthy food away from, economically depressed or poor neighborhoods. And we are seeing, grocery stores, drugstores like Walgreens to Pick and Save closing in neighborhoods where that may be the only access to a grocery store for that entire community.
No, straight up.
And the reason why public grocery store is so important is not only is it a way to ensure that we can bring in, local farmers, local businesses, and make sure that these grocery stores are not putting in that additional 30% markup on groceries, that it is permanently affordable for a community, because it's not operating on profit or have the luxury to just pick up and leave, depending on what they deem is a business clientele that meets their business needs. It's a public grocery store for the public to make sure that we're slowly, we're solving this issue of a system designed to keep healthy food away from people.
Yeah. No, exactly. Right. In my district, we had literally a block away from my house, we had our Walgreens close. We've also seen 3 other Walgreens in the 10th district close. We've seen Pick and Saves being closed across the city of Milwaukee, including in the 10th, which is hard for people.
Yeah.
What we had to deal with in my office this year a lot was calls asking, what are you going to do to ensure that we have access to groceries? And that's why we were able to come together and work on a really dope bill that helped farmers would create public grocery stores around the state.
Yep.
And ensure that folks had access to a fair price for the groceries that they need to survive, right? And
provide good paying jobs,
dude,
union jobs,
exactly.
and areas where there could be incubators for food businesses.
Yeah.
And places where we're seeing, we need to provide spaces for our young people. It could be within a public grocery where there are places where folks can learn about, and this is already happening in some of our MPS schools.
Yep.
We need it to be in more of our schools, culinary programs, entrepreneurship programs. I talked to a couple of young folks in Bayview High School who
they just started
are learning. Yep. Catering business,
Yeah.
food truck business. These are the types of programs we should be expanding in public spaces like a public grocery store.
Absolutely.
So,
and we can.
Yeah. How? Well, the question always is how do we fund it?
Yeah. I mean, I think that goes back to the other proposal that we've worked on together, and that's a public bank of Wisconsin,
Yep.
right? We have investments that are sitting. We have dollars that are sitting in the state that we have sitting in U.S. Bank that every other entity has the ability to leverage.
Yeah.
What if we leverage those dollars for public good? What if we set our interest rates when we invested dollars in local governments, right? We have models that have worked around the country.
Yeah.
North Dakota established the first public bank in it. While the rest of the nation struggled through the Great Depression, North Dakota was cooking and helping every single resident and every single farmer throughout the state not navigate hardships.
Yeah.
We can do that here. Other states are working on similar legislation.
And larger cities too.
Yep.
We can localize a public banking system to
Actually,
be in
Cleveland.
a municipality. And San Francisco is
Yeah.
working on it.
So Cleveland has one.
Oh,
Yeah.
say more.
Well, I don't know all the moving
Oh.
pieces. But I was talking when we introduced our public banking bill. I had a homie who reached out to my office to talk to us about how we can enhance our proposal. And they were from Ohio, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Yo, we have a municipal bank, and it's been doing amazing to support local businesses for a while now." And it had a time where they didn't exist for a period of time, but they've come back and they've been doing some amazing work.
That's the thing, is when you have an entity that is not driven for solely profit, and that it can provide additional support when needed, in especially right now when there's so much economic instability, with low interest accessible loans, where the interest accrued goes back into investment in community. That during COVID too, one of the ways that the North Dakota Public Bank really helped folks during that time was that it had already established infrastructure to be able to allocate dollars more efficiently. They allocated those COVID dollars through the public bank as opposed to having to work through multiple different agencies to make sure that people were getting the resources they needed as quickly as they could get them.
Nice.
Yeah. And those are things that, I think it's hard to imagine, yet alone envision and actually implementing it. And we have these things happening in other states. What we have been doing before is not working.
Yep.
And a public bank is also a way that we need to look at investing to be able to have affordable housing
Yep.
and to help scale and sustain local independent businesses.
Yeah.
When you have low interest, predictable financing to help fund larger affordable housing developments, when you have low interest loans that are available to businesses, whether it's for scale or for sustain, or they're forgivable, and you have more of the communities buying in, knowing that this money is going to be reinvested and stay in their community. I think what happens a lot with, and you hear this from farmers, is we're seeing our dollars leave our state. We're seeing our dollars going to line up or pay for tax breaks. And the reason why we're not able to strengthen our local economies is when we're not supporting our local businesses, when we don't have the public infrastructure to keep those public dollars in the community. We can really help to strengthen all of that investing in these public systems that, I don't know, are unapologetically for the public,
For sure.
that's the priority, is to serve people first.
Exactly. I mean, and commonly in my community, Black communities, we talk about this model of cooperative economics. We love talking about it during Kwanzaa, and how the Black dollar can stay within our communities in cycle, right? When dollars are spent in the communities, we all thrive. What does it look like when we spend our state money in our state, right? And that's that, right? We're supporting local businesses, we're supporting farmers, we're supporting critical infrastructure projects like building the housing that we need, like you just said, or things like fixing our roads, right?
Public transit, making sure we're not having to cut from metro, and that we can have, more electric buses, that rural areas are able to have more transportation options. You can't just call an Uber if you're in a smaller town. Like that transportation, medical transportation included, that's about economic freedom too. And that's about keeping local dollars and strengthening local economies.
Absolutely. And, as it relates to all of these topics that we're uplifting.
Our socialist policies.
Heck yeah.
They make a lot of sense, right? I didn't say there was socialist policies till just now.
Exactly. All of these things came from our Socialist Caucus, which we've been working diligently to show that we can pass and introduce policies that make sense. And people are always saying, we can't do this right now, right? It's unreasonable. It doesn't make sense. And we point to examples in other parts of other states, other municipalities, and even other countries that have worked. And folks are scared to proceed and be bold. And I think that we are facing a time where being silent and being scared to do the thing on behalf of people is leading to much bigger structural long-term harms. So you're a candidate who's holding it down and pushing boldly for an agenda that can work on behalf of all Wisconsinites, not just the folks who carry a socialist identity, not just folks who identify as Democrats, but everybody. Can you speak to some of the ways in which folks are resonating with the policies you're uplifting, especially in rural Wisconsin, because they don't think you have support in rural Wisconsin? Which, to be clear, like last week Friday, I was in Eagle, Wisconsin. I'm in a land restoration program. I believe in restoring public lands and ensuring that we're supporting our environment long term. And I was in a prairie. Sitting in a prairie, doing some identification of native species and talking about that biome. And when afterwards, I drove home. And I was seeing a bunch of Tom Tiffany signs, right? Huge ones.
The big barn signs?
Oh, plenty. But you know what else I was seeing? Francesca Hong signs all throughout Eagle, Wisconsin. And that's because you've been building a real broad coalition across this state. So speak a little bit to that.
People deserve to see themselves in the vision that a candidate is presenting. And the vision that I have for Wisconsin, that we have for Wisconsin, is one that actually belongs to them, where they have the freedom to fair, cheaper health care, to great public schools, to free childcare, and making sure that we are taking on corporate corruption and corporate control and building community control. I think we have to be bold in using the word control and power for working class people. And when I talk to rural folks, urban folks, suburban folks, that you deserve to have more control in your community about how to live the life that I know you want. I don't know the life that you want to live, but I do know that we share the Wisconsin values of caring for one another and working really fucking hard. And so it doesn't feel like we're not talking about it as entitlements. We're talking about reclaiming what we have all been working for. And I was in Hayward, Wisconsin, talked to a gentleman who was a Trump voter, and I knew because of the hat that he was wearing. I asked him, what is it that you care about and are most proud about of your community? And we talked about public schools. We talked about how his wife is the town clerk, that they hold their elections in a one-room schoolhouse where they have to go in and turn the heat on way before the polls are open, that he's a poll worker. And I told him, I said this earlier with Kat, one of the most patriotic things you can do is be a poll worker.
Yeah, I agree.
And when you ask folks what they're proud of, I think you're giving folks, it goes beyond I care about what you care about. It's that I'm curious and I want to learn more. And I think it's important that our politicians be willing to learn, be willing to listen, and see that so many people are deserving of so much more. And we shouldn't be the one to dictate when they get to have change.
Yeah, I think that that just gave me chills because
You always give
because it made me think about when we were recording your campaign launch video, and we had a bunch of people. We got a bunch of people from around the state and who were huge supporters of you. And you wanted to, do a launch that was a representation of who you are, right? And you closed that video with saying, "Let's share the table." And we had a collective meal together as a group of folks, right?
Yeah.
Right across the street from the state capitol.
Yeah.
What you were just saying is talking about giving folks agency and a seat at the table. And one of my favorite people, Emilio De Torre, who runs Milwaukee Turners in Milwaukee, would always say, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And for too long, the things that both rural and urban Wisconsinites deeply care about have been on the menu. And your candidate truly speaking to what it looks like to give that agency back, give folks the power that they deserve, and a real seat at the table.
Yeah. And so much of that power comes with economic security.
Ooh.
Whatever that looks like for you. And if you get there because there's free childcare, if you get there because there's great public schools that are some of the largest employers of the amazing teachers who get paid well in your district, whether that's because we're lowering utility costs with our 2% rate cap bill.
That's true.
These are all the policies where you can choose what will help you have more economic security, because it's not about the state dictating what's affordable. It's about building in permanent affordability by having universal policies that are there for folks the way that they need it in order to have more economic freedom.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about one last thing. And I honestly don't know how much time we got left, but
you get one more question.
Bet. So when I came into the legislature, there's one thing I wanted to do first with the power that we have as a legislator, and that was visit as many Wisconsin state prisons as possible and talk to folks who are directly serving time in our institutions, and hear about the ways in which they're impacted.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting and sharing a meal with someone, really crappy meal because they serve with folks who are incarcerated, really bad meals. And I asked him what was one thing he wanted, one change he wanted in this institution to make him feel like he could actually go through rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to see the sun. Because MSDF in Milwaukee Security Detention Facility is a building within a building. It has no access to windows, and wasn't built for folks to be in there that long.
Yeah.
So going to the conditions of confinement and everything we've been working on as it relates to our carceral system, What's one of the biggest things you think we can do to move towards real rehabilitation in our correctional system?
We have to prioritize dignity and rehabilitation. The fact that an incarcerated person, that their response to one ask was to see the sun, I think tells you how deeply broken it is. And so, to me, ensuring that there are humane conditions and looking at, we should not have a building within a building. What is the path to ensure that the closure, rehabilitation, the upskilling, the making sure that the community is there to support, and to making sure that we're allowing folks to live a life of dignity no matter where they are.
Yeah. No, you're hitting the nail on the head, right? There's a common belief that those who fight for the issues that we care about, right, which is basically treating folks with basic dignity and
Human decency.
Don't care about public safety or real justice when we talk about reforming our criminal legal system with the end goal of abolishing our criminal legal system because we know we can live in a better world. That we just don't care about those things. But you're talking about building systems that make sense, right? You're talking about moving towards a model that's, way less punitive than what we've done to folks in our criminal justice system. Our criminal legal system, because there's a lot of injustices happening in that system. But
if we are going to be the healthiest state,
yep.
the safest state, the state with the most freedoms, that means we ensure that for everyone and the communities that they are in. And incarcerated folks are in a community.
Yeah.
And I think that when we prioritize being tough on the causes of crime, when we prioritize dignity and humanity and recognizing that the current system that we have has led us here, that reform has to be the response.
Yeah.
Because we continue to spend more on incarcerating an individual than it is to send a child to UW-Madison.
Yeah. In educated child and community, we're close to $750,000. If not, I think we might be at $849,000 to incarcerate one young person in our correctional facilities a year. What would it look like if we invested that amount of dollars into that young person's entire family to ensure that they had the stability that they needed for stuff like that to never happen? And we can get there.
Yeah, we can be the safest state, the healthiest state, and the state with the most freedoms. We have to guarantee that for everyone.
Heck yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, my friend.
I don't think we're on air though, just quite yet.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna bring in. Oh, we got so intense there. We're gonna take it over to toss it to our friend Timothy Faust.
That's right. I've got a lot of fun things to say, and I've got a lot of fun things to share with the class. For example, I want to say thank you to Gavin for giving us $10 from Middleton.
Hey.
Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you to Austin in Milwaukee for $10, Gabriella in Conowalk for $25, Phil in Milwaukee for $50,
Phil, Gabby.
Stephen in New Glarus for $30. Folks from all over the state. It's a real nice little thing we got going on here. And like we were saying before, again, we don't have billionaire donors, right? We don't have people that have 3, 4, 5 million to throw at campaigns in general. We don't have people that can dedicate or donate $20,000 over and over again across the entire country, like a lot of other candidates, a lot of other campaigns have. That's not the kind of campaign we're running. This whole thing is really built brick by brick by people making small dollar donations. I know in the last deadline we had more donors, individual donors, than the next two candidates combined. This really is Not money. This is people. We got the many, not the money. And I'm very proud to be part of a group like that. Also, thank you to Twitch for liking my tassels. Oh, Darren, before we head out here, you mentioned before that you were doing some urban ecology stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm doing a program over the summer called the Land Restoration School, while also campaigning for myself and for the homie.
Yes, Darren is also running for re-election, everyone. District.
But it's a process where we learn how to restore public lands to what they used to look like, or actually what they could look like based off what they used to look like. So throughout Wisconsin, we have mesic forests, we have wetlands, we have prairies, and these were all the different types of areas that existed before we started developing. All of these spaces were habitats for animals and other species to thrive besides humans. And most of that land became farmland or homes or bigger developments, right? What happened to the habitat for those species? It disappeared.
Yeah.
So some of those species are on the brink of extinction, like our sandhill cranes, right? Because their habitat is being depleted time after time. So I'm in the process of learning how to create plans based off the historical information of communities and maps and surveys around restoring places to amazing prairies, wetlands, and oak savanna, which we have less than 1,000 acres of left in the state, which was the biggest biome that we used to have in the state.
What happened to the loss of the oaks?
Yeah, so oak savannas were like the most fertile land
Yeah.
For farmers. So a lot of oaks were used in a lot of construction materials. So our lumber industry also did their thing. So now we have less than 1,000 acres left. And when I was in Eagle, Wisconsin, I also visited oak savanna, and it was amazing being in that space and seeing that biome. Saw some wild raspberries, ate some of them, climbed a tree, did a bunch of stuff with folks while learning about how do you create a restoration plan for that. And these plans take a long time.
Yeah.
Right? It takes a long time for a tree.
Does it require funding?
Plenty. I mean, which brings us to Nose Nelson, right? Which our Nose Nelson Stewardship Program is
ending today
because Republicans didn't want to work with us to save it.
And this is probably one of the most bipartisan, agreed upon programs when it comes to acquisition of public lands, conservation, restoration. All across the state, there are projects that are funded by this stewardship program.
Yeah.
And the Republicans couldn't get their shit together, played politics. And as governor, it is one of my top priorities to ensure that not only are we continuing to fund the Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program, but that we are expanding it.
So yeah, we got a lot of work to do. I'm learning about how to do those projects over this summer. And hoping that we can work on some policies next session early to ensure that we're doing the work that's necessary to restore our natural biomes and make it so our air is cleaner, our waterways are cleaner, and every species have the ability to thrive in the state, not just the humans.
Yeah, it is an ecosystem.
Indeed.
And thank you, Darren. I appreciate you.
For sure.
I like to think that, all the legislators I like have a D&D class, right? Fran's obviously a cleric, and Darren would be the most druid-like person that I know. So it's a pleasure to have a druid for a nearby state rep. I'm going to talk for a little bit. I'm going to vamp and look at chat while we give Fran a little break. We're setting up for a delightful musical guest, so I'm going to speak looking at either the camera or the chat and figure out what's going on. But before that, I have some fun news, which is Maylet Kiros, who's running for House in Colorado, I believe in the Denver area, is up about 2%. Sorry, 2%. I suppose 2%, 1% plus 1% is 2%. But that's a result a lot of us were really hopeful for. And, it's super early, but that's the correct direction we want to see. Another progressive, another DSA endorsed candidate getting out there and taking on an incumbent and pushing to demand better for what Colorado deserves and for what all Americans deserve. So that's really exciting news. And speaking of exciting news, I've got some names I wish to share once I click into this little link over here. And the names I'm thinking of right now include, for example, Ryan from Milwaukee, who gave us a very generous $25. Michael in Franklin giving us $10. Joshua in Appleton, what's up Appleton, giving us $10. If you're in Menasha or Neenah, it's time for you to chip in and rise up, because we can't be overridden by Appleton for 1 minute longer. I guess Fox Crossing, that's like the new town in that area, what used to be town Menasha. Regardless, I want to see some 54952 or 54956 in our little donation list. And we've got Rebecca from Milwaukee with $20 and Enise from Norwalk, a big hundo. Thank you all very, very, very much. Let's see what's going on in chat. People want to talk about data centers. It's the word in everybody's lips, data center. And I totally understand why, right? These are existential questions about who controls our land, our air, our water, our life, our taxes, our economic, our environmental futures. And I know for a scientific fact, for a quantifiable fact, that the Fran Hong campaign is the campaign which takes AI in data centers most seriously. And we'll get Fran on to talk about that after she finishes with her break, but let me run you through some of the stuff we got on the dome. 3 policy packages. First is Control-Alt-Delete, which stands for controlling our alternative energy and deleting corporate subsidies. Right now, legislators across the country are trying to take a big gamble on the idea of AI as this big gold rush. That if we build 1,500 or 2,000 data centers across the U.S., we'll get unlimited prosperity. But that's not how it works, right? We don't have any guarantee that the demand makes sense, and we don't know what the economic or the environmental consequences are. And the ones that we have seen have been pretty deleterious. We know about water pollution, most importantly, know about air pollution from building really expensive, dirty energy power generators to power these massive, massive, massive facilities. If you live in the Milwaukee area, you've driven near the Port Washington facility, you're driving on the highway for 60 or 70 seconds at highway speeds just to pass by the entire facility. And a building that size, with that kind of energy demand, requires building whole brand new energy infrastructure. And that has a significant environmental cost. And so Fran refuses to let our future be gambled upon by corporations that don't care about the long-term consequences of what happens to Wisconsin, and also want to foot us with the bill for paying for energy that pollutes our air, pollutes our water, makes us sick, makes our utility bills go up. All we're asking for is responsible planning for the future, right? If a corporation wants to build a data center, they have to get total community consent from the place they want to build. They got to pay their own way. We're not going to offer them any tax breaks. If they're poised to make billions of dollars, they can do it on their own. And that anything that's constructed is built using completely renewable energy that is publicly owned. We're not going to put Wisconsin on the hook for what happens if this gold rush ends up being a bubble, and we're not going to ask Wisconsinites, especially rural Wisconsinites and people in low-income areas, to breathe polluted air or drink polluted water, all so that Microsoft can make another $40 billion next year. That's the Control-Alt-Delete data center policy. Are we ready for our musical guest, or should I keep on talking about more AI stuff? I'm going to keep on talking about more AI stuff. Great. And actually, let's see what's happening in the donation shine. Christopher from Hammond gave us a big 20. Jessica in Milwaukee gave us a wonderful $100. Thank you very much. Max all the way in Nevada gave us $25. Thank you all so much. We have a special guest bringing you some musical scintillation. So get ready for an ecstatic moment. Please welcome to the stage. His name is James Norcross. He's a student at UW-Madison from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. He's a musician, he's a writer, he's an indie pop and rocker. Please give it up for the next song for James Norcross.
Hello there. Thank you guys so much for having me. Sorry, there's a bit of reverb on my voice right now. No, yeah, my name is James Norcross. I'm so honored to be here for the live stream and to help out with the Fran campaign. I care so deeply about what she's doing. And this song that I'm going to play, I put out on a project a couple of years back. The project was called Advanced Placement, and I made it as the final project for my AP Lit class. And I'm choosing to play this because I think that education is so important and teachers are such an important position and obviously underfunded. So shout out to my high school English teacher, Mrs. Herman, if you see this lovely person. Yeah, and I'm gonna build up the instrumental with some looping, so bear with me here. But yeah, here's Who's Gonna Know You Now. That should be all. Take me in and take me out. The city sticks when you block it out. And you're taking planes, you're changing trains, you're leaving me by the minute. Now I'm losing at 100 miles an hour. So I change my name, I'm playing games, I'm losing me every minute. And I need someone to say my name out loud. Who's gonna know me now? Who's gonna know me now? Losing grip over this skyline. Getting rich, and I'm losing my mind. My mind. Now I'm taking planes, I'm changing trains, I'm needing you by the minute. But you're leaving at 100 miles an hour. So I change my name, I'm playing games, I'm needing you every minute. And I need someone to say my name out loud. Who's gonna know me now? Who's gonna know me now? Who's gonna know me now? Who's gonna know you now? Who's gonna know you now? Who's gonna know you now? Thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, he's my friend and yours. His name is James Norcross. Thank you very much. To you, I guess, both you, James, and you, the audience at home, on Twitch, on TikTok, no, not TikTok, on Instagram, wherever you are. Thank you so much, and thank you, James. James, why did you get involved with the Fran Hong campaign?
With the Fran Hong campaign because as someone who's from Wisconsin and was in school, of course, during the Scott Walker administration, I think we all know how underfunded the schools are. And I think that we all want a change for Wisconsin. And I think that Fran is the change we need because she cares so much about this state. She has traveled to all of these towns, and as a student here at UW-Madison, I am very proud to have a Madisonites on the candidate list, and I think that she just cares so deeply, and she knows what community building is. She knows how to care for one, and she has worked at so many Madison resident favorites, like, you know, the Gamma Ray Bar where I've played a gig before. So I think that I care because she cares.
Fran is a real person, which is really hard to say about candidates and politicians sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
Certainly.
There's no denying that Fran is a flesh and blood person like you and me, and it's really, really important to bring people like that to halls of power, because how can somebody that hasn't experienced what it's like to be shit upon, who hasn't experienced the struggle, possibly, you know, be a good advocate for the rest of us who live that every single day?
Yeah.
Now, when you say you were in school during Act 10, what kind of school was it?
I was in public school. I went to a school near my hometown of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
I mean, like, were you like in high school or third grade?
I was in elementary school, so I must say I don't have the best recollection of.
Got it. Doesn't really matter how old it makes me feel. It's totally fine. You know, I was is Fran back yet, or am I just riffing? I'm still riffing. I was in the Middle East during Act 10. I was living in Bethlehem, Palestine, and I was working there for a book project. And so my job was to go out and interview people who were living in the West Bank, who were living in Gaza, about life under occupation. Like, what does it mean to be a farmer or a shopkeeper or a teacher or, you know, like a refugee in the West Bank? And I was out to go talk to these people who were political prisoners, former political prisoners, who were refugees living in a refugee camp in Bethlehem. And it was the day of the first big Act 10 protest. And so I show up, I don't know, I'm 22 or 23. I don't know shit about shit. With my little notepad, gonna ask these guys some questions. And all they want to talk about is Wisconsin. All they want to talk about is Act 10. I was interrogated about my home state by people thousands of miles away. It really was, to a lot of people, like a pivotal, epical event in American, world, and certainly Wisconsin history. And so knowing that that was Fran's first big protest she attended with her family, that a lot of what we're seeing here in this campaign today is grounded in that moment, is kind of the realization of the promise of why people got out there and fought for the right to organize, and what kind of the fight we're continuing here today.
Certainly.
I'm gonna keep on talking until someone waves at me and tells me not to. Oh.
James, that was amazing!
Thank you, Fran.
I got to... Okay, can I do a little interrogating? Do we have time for that now? Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
And for sharing your art with us.
Yeah.
Folks, we're super into it online. I don't know what's happening here, but that's very impressive too. So yeah, well, I guess it shouldn't be me interrogating you. Do you have any questions for me? And yes, there's a wardrobe change, but I forgot for a minute there that this is a slumber party. So now I am in slumber party mode.
I think that I forgot to. I should have been in my PJs. You know, I have.
You know what? Yeah. We all just, it's loungewear is broad.
So yeah.
Thanks again for coming.
Of
I didn't know your
course.
hometown's Oconomowoc.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
The
just
high
now east.
school. I believe we played Oconomowoc once in sectionals in soccer.
Oh, really?
The Oconomowoc Raccoons.
Yes, yeah.
I must admit, I am a bit of a fake, resident of there because I went to high school at Arrowhead High School in Heartland.
Oh, yes. Very good sports teams there too.
Yeah, and lots of amazing teachers
Yes.
who have changed my life. Yeah.
Teachers are amazing.
Yeah.
No. Well, and was there a teacher that got you into music?
Yes. Or well, into writing. My high school English teacher, Mrs. Herman, who is such a force of nature at the high school. She just taught such kindness and taught us how to critically think. And she really cared so deeply about each and every one of her students because she was showing one of my songs that I made for a project to like a few of my classmates before I got to class one day, like without my permission, thankfully, because they all loved it, and that was what inspired me to do that song, was because she showed it to them.
So she knew, she saw something in you before you did. She just helped really just empower you and bring that out.
Yeah.
That's kind of the magic of teachers.
Yeah.
They're pretty
so.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, shout out Ms. Herman. Thank you so much. And I can't thank you enough for volunteering for our campaign.
Of course.
We saw you in our video.
Yeah.
Appreciated that. I think I talk a lot about ambassadors and how we are a volunteer, community-powered campaign. And one of the ways that I think doors, phone calls, text banking, so important, but we really want to help folks find ways to volunteer and be a part of their community, be part of our campaign in ways that make the most sense for you.
Absolutely.
And for you to share your music with us, it means a lot.
I love the community that you built with this campaign because one of my roommates has done phone banking for you actually. So it's been funny because
who's your roommate?
Drew Barkman.
Thank you, Drew.
Shout out Drew
Shout out
Barkman.
Drew.
Yeah, because he I would be in my bedroom making music, and then I could hear him from his bedroom saying, "Hi, how's it going? I'm here to talk to you about Fran Hahn today." So
That rocks.
Yeah.
That rocks. Harry, I don't know if you're listening, but did you hear that? All that organizing happening, multiple places under one roof. Well, thank you to Drew. Thanks to you. I think some of our most powerful volunteers are some of our youngest volunteers. And I always remind folks that people be unapologetic about leading as a young person.
Yeah.
Don't give in to any of the narratives that come out as young people. Don't do this or don't want that. This is, I think, a moment where we are all better when young people harness their power. Plus, we need y'all to take on some of those turning point folks too. So.
Oh, yes. I think that the people are there. You just have to look carefully enough. I remember going to my first Madison DSA meeting. It was like a community building workshop after one of the protests, and I was just amazed at the amount of people who lived just down the street from me who I did not know yet. And that was just so cool. And then I'll see them on the bus when I'm going to school or work, and I'm like, oh, I know you now. And you just have to look closely enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes a campaign powerful. That's what makes it's what makes a campaign long lasting, is if people feel like they're a part of a community.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Of course.
much. Oh, so appreciate you being here, all your work volunteering. Can we give it up for James one more time? Amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Yes, I'm afraid to touch a lot of this stuff now. It looks very fancy.
All right, I'm back on camera. His name is James Norcross, and he's from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin at UW-Madison. Thank you very much.
was
His
awesome. I
soothing
got to
loops
watch
and,
on the,
frankly,
lighting.
stentorian voice really, I think, tided the room over. Let's do a couple of shout-outs. Thank you very, very, very much to Chris in Eagle River for $200, to Brandon in Madison for $40, to Becky in Appleton for a big 2-0, Jay in Oconomowoc for $20. We got people from all over the state, except for Nina and Menasha and Fox Crossing, Wisconsin, which will chat my ass until the day it's resolved. However, I do have a wonderful number to share, which is, I believe, let me scroll up. Since the stream launched at 6:30 today, we have raised, take a guess, $14,000. 14 Thundo is a lot of dollars, and that goes directly into the campaign, right? We're not living La Vida Loca over here. That goes into getting people on doors, getting people on phones. It goes into lit. It goes into merch. It goes into signs because you people love to take signs from us. And we have run out of them multiple times now, which is great because I love seeing them when I walk my dog. But the more money you help us with, the more we can invest into making this the strongest field organization and most present campaign out there in this state, which I think we are. Again, 6,000 volunteers don't lie. And if you wants to become volunteer 6001, you can do that by going to francescahong.com, clicking get involved, and clicking volunteer. Or go to francescahong.com/volunteer, fill out the form, and we'll get in touch with you as soon as we can. That's how you can get in the mix, no matter whether you're in Oconomowoc, Appleton, Neenah, Menasha, Madison, Waukee, or even parts beyond, even places unknown. There is a spot for you in the Fran Hong campaign, and we look forward to holding up your hand in a grip of solidarity as we pursue a more beautiful future together. It looks like we might have our next guests on the spot ready. I can't really see anything. Great.
Hello.
Oh, there's a camera right there. Hi.
Hi, everyone. We're going to be making things now.
Okay.
Malika, take it away.
Oh my gosh, you just put me on the spot like that.
I did.
Okay.
Because I want to focus on this.
Yes. So we are making buttons over here with the help of Noelle. And we are also making postcards to send to orders. Yes, very exciting.
And Malika, who are you and what do you do for the Hong campaign?
I guess
Besides, what don't you do for the Hong campaign?
So my name is Malika. You guys all know that. I am the creative director, and I just like to make cool stuff and help all the volunteers make cool stuff.
Our volunteers make the coolest things. Folks ask where we can get things, and it's like the volunteers, they make them, they're in the community. You can learn how to make things and put them out in your community too, but it's, Francesca Hong, Strongest Soldier. Shout out Shua.
Yep.
We've got the coveted Reagan Fucked Us Paul buttons.
Those are a big one.
Those are,
That's what I stole.
we have friendship bracelets. This one says Fran loves Wisconsin, WI, Wisconsin. That's very cute. And who's everyone here? Hello, who are you?
Hi, I'm Rose. I have known Fran since middle school. Did theater in high school together and then worked at Morris Ramen. And know her amazing son George and done some
Rose was one of George's first babysitters.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he was tiny and Sasha came with me.
Yep.
Another OG Morris Ramen staff member. Shout out Sasha DeBevic McKenney, who just won the very prestigious Dylan Thomas Award for fiction. We love Sasha. She was just here from Grand Rapids last weekend, helping out with a canvas that I hosted at my place. So we have people all over the country who love Fran, and who've loved Fran for a very long time. And yeah, I've been working with Malika. Malika's been amazing. My cousin Emily's on the team too.
Oh, hi, Emily.
We love Emily so much. Shout out Violet the Badger as well. Yeah. We're on Threads quite a bit talking about Fran. Yeah, I think there's quite a few people like competing for Fran's Strongest Soldier on Threads.
We're all Fran's Strongest Soldier.
It's true.
true.
This is a collective effort.
Yeah.
This is about community. Everybody provides an important slice of the pie, an important puzzle piece.
Yeah.
None of us can be as strong without each other. So that's why I'm here, because I know that Fran's all about community. I mean, for decades now, I've just seen that drive her life, and I think that's really what sets her apart from other candidates is, like, you're motivated by expanding your capacity to help as many people as you can, and I see, like, you being governor just an amazing.
You're supposed to talk about yourself and introduce who you are.
I just want to say, I feel like part of the value I can offer this campaign is knowing you for so long and providing like that. Hey, I've seen it.
Yes.
I know the
No,
tea.
Rose
I've
has
seen
some
her be
tea.
driven by community her whole life and not by positions of power or, ladder climbing or any of that. It's just always about how can everybody be thriving together? And that's why, we've remained friends and in each other's lives for so long. And that's a deep part of who I am. And I see that as a deep part of who you are. And I just am so grateful to have people in my life that
Oh, thank you.
have the courage to be like, no, this is what matters, you guys, None of the prestige, none of the titles, none of the elitism, which, we struggle with a little bit in Madison. Shh. And yeah, just, I don't have any words anymore.
Thank you.
I've been organizing in town for a while, and I've never seen energy like this campaign.
It's exciting.
It's really exciting. I was 18 when Obama was elected, so we've got a pretty high standard to compare energy-wise. And this doesn't even compare because of the way people are connecting and generating excitement, being together and fighting for each other and fighting for our communities and what we know matters. So, yeah.
Thanks, Rose.
And creating things is a part of that. Joy, art, music was just here. I think we've forgotten how big a part of everything these things are. And
Human
our
interaction is
Yeah.
the most important thing.
yeah.
That's driving us. Oh, hi, Noelle.
Hi,
Is it
Noelle.
my turn? Hi.
And
I'm
how's
Noelle. I have to shout out my kids real quick because they've been waiting for me to come on here. Evie, cool beans, cool beans, cool beans.
Evie, cool beans.
I am going to show you guys how to make a button because it has honestly been one of the funnest things to do for this campaign, and being able to see people out in the wild wearing my buttons that I made, it's pretty special. I like it. I feel pretty cool.
Noelle buttons.
Aww.
Yeah.
I love it.
I can hold the mic while you talk and explain. Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
So these have been pretty hot. People really like these.
Oh, the Reagan fucked us?
Yes.
I said that one time.
Got a lot of views. It's resonating with people. So
That's the paper.
yes, paper. Oh, sorry. I guess I should be explaining what I'm
Oh,
doing.
it's okay. It's hard to, you've made so many amazing buttons. They're everywhere.
I'm the button queen. If anybody needs some, let me know.
And that's the button back, right?
Yes. So this is the button back. Stick it in here. Pretty simple.
That's the part I always mess up. She's so good at
You
this.
just gotta look at the eye.
That's it.
Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna fuck that up. I'll let you make a couple more.
Come to a Fran Hong event in Milwaukee, and I will be there, and I will give you some.
Yeah, that's an event we've been doing.
Yes.
DIY merch night. So much fun.
Yes.
We have volunteers just come out. We make buttons. We make bracelets. There are
Postcards,
postcards,
stickers.
stickers. We had Lizzie make a dazzled hat. Hotties for Hong.
Lizzie also made the K-pop. What are they called?
I think it's a photo frame.
I don't know, but it's super cute.
I know.
Well, Hassan noticed it, knew what it was.
Yeah.
I just thought this is weird. I'm giving him a picture of me on this swag bag
I love
that
it.
already has my face and Boat Hong.
I love
But he knew right away what it was and was very excited, and I just kind of faked it. Cool. Totally. K-pop. I'm Korean. I know what that is.
What else have we been doing? I think I did want to say that being able to do something as simple as making buttons and stickers and all of that stuff has actually allowed me to connect with a lot of people about this campaign. It's a really easy thing to just be like, hey, are you guys interested in a pin? Also, let me talk to you about this wonderful candidate, Fran. She's running for governor and y'all should vote for her. And most of the time it's, we already are going to.
Aw.
So that's been pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Who wants to hold this now? I feel like there's too much power in this microphone.
I have so much to say.
Oh, this is a dangerous thing for me to have. What do we want to talk about?
Well,
Anybody?
Oh, we should talk about silly gooses.
yes.
Yes.
I'll hold this for you.
Oh, would you? What can I trade you?
Yes, I sure can. So our delightful friend Tara came up with this ingenious design, and if you know Tara and know her Instagram, if you send proof of $60 donation or more, you can have one of these sweatshirts. We will make it for you personally. I bet the campaign would honor that through their Instagram as well. Send us a screenshot and $60 or more. Let's get this money for Fran, y'all. We can do it. Like, people power. We're all silly gooses for Hung. Let's be honest. You know. Represents that, and like, I think
Noelle's got a shout out from fellow Majority Report
Oh, hey.
followers and fans for Noelle. We have a certified silly goose.
Yeah. Honk for Hong.
My husband better be watching.
Yeah. What's your husband's?
Rogers,
Daniel Rogers, where are you at?
donate. Oh my God.
I know Ruth is watching.
Look at us.
We love Noelle. We love Malika.
Shout out Ruth. That's my mom. I know she's watching too.
Maddie Meissner. Thank you for your support.
For somebody's rally point.
Aw. We have, I don't know, what's Panic
That
Basket?
must be Rob. Hi, Rob. Panic Basket.
Oh, Lizzie. Lizzie in the chat.
Hey,
Hi,
Lizzie.
Cute. This is kind of cute.
This is very cute.
I saw.
I didn't know that
Happy to be here.
your kiddo's name was Evie.
Yeah.
How old are they?
Evie is going to be 13 in August.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So she's preteen or teen, or are there differences these days?
Evie, if you're still watching, I love you, but you are becoming a menace.
A
And
menace.
I understand because it's hard to be a kid growing up, but it's especially hard being a girl growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yours will be 13 in August.
yeah.
Mine will be 13 in September.
Are you taking my life?
We have the same life. What is this?
Well, I'm glad that Fran's campaign was able to. Yeah.
Use the mic, people.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Sorry.
I'm gonna be
All right. What are you writing on your postcard, Malika?
Hello.
Okay. So I got nervous and I said, hi, please vote for my favorite person, Francesca Hong. She is running on a platform that makes Wisconsin better for all of us. I don't know if I'm going to send it to you, but
Ooh.
You could send it to me.
We're already voting.
That's true.
And mine's is Fran for WI.
I was gonna ask, are you artistic, creative, or anything at all? You do secret crocheting or
No.
painting? No. Okay.
You've done those before.
No, I'll look around and I'm a good art poser.
Okay.
And so yeah, I'll just be jacking other people's ideas. I will say
Curator
that
of sorts.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a minimalist though, so that's why there's minimal creativity from me.
Everybody's creative.
But cooking is.
That is true. Oh,
That's true.
That's true.
It is.
I see that
Okay, I'm totally messing these up.
they look great.
That's embarrassing.
I can hold while you.
They've fallen apart.
Don't worry about it.
Do that.
It's really hard.
Mine.
For me, I think it's because cooking is where art and science meet. So it feels like there's less pressure on the art part. If you get the science part, and I don't know. I guess because there's that element of somebody else is coming in to enjoy or will judge, it feels, there's still some pressure to be. It's not like being fully creative because you're still making something for somebody else. Or is that what makes you creative?
I think so.
I don't know.
And you're following a recipe.
I'm not great at following
Me
recipes.
either.
So I would write the recipes and they would go in the book and I would still have to, a really great line cook is excellent at producing, like being consistent in producing the recipe and firing the meal. And I would just always slightly alter a little bit every time. But so that's my creativity, is sometimes I go rogue. Speaking of rogue and also wonderful, Timothy Faust, I'm gonna kick it over to you for a second.
That's right, and I've got some wonderful names to share with the class. I like seeing all the arts and crafts because I'm really bad at them, but I love wearing them and using them. So I appreciate the means of production that make it possible. Want to say a big thank you to Robert from Anchorage, Alaska for $25. To Larry from Green Lake for $5.
Hey,
Addison
Green Lake.
Wauwatosa for $10. All kinds of folks. Lauren and Lodi for $10. Preston in Madison with a big 25. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thanks all.
Let's take a couple of questions from chat. Let me scroll through and see what we got.
All right.
A lot of folks want to hear Go Pack Go over on Facebook. People, of course, are going crazy asking where they can get buttons. Is there a canonical answer for where buttons are accessible?
Mostly events.
If you have an Instagram, message me. I believe my handle is Noelle the Human. Find me and I can try to work out getting you some.
All right.
Can we send you on forward for him too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
We'll have more buttons at our events.
I promise they'll look better
yeah.
than the ones that I'm breaking.
Well, and we can also share the.
We do have the designs.
Yes, we can share the designs if you'd like to make your own buttons. I guess we could put them at the store at some point. I don't know. We like having them pop up organically. Folks making them the way that they'd like. But yes, we will have more at our events for sure. You can find out where our events are, volunteer-led and ones that I'll be at, or both, francescahong.com/events. You are the best, can confirm, from Lizzie.
Very good. So an amazing way to get these buttons is to go to Fran Hong Events. Best way to get an item is to get in the pit and try to love someone, as I believe a poet laureate once said. Getting breaking news, whether it's true or not, people are saying word on the
Maylot
street
Heroes!
is that Maylot may have won. I can't confirm this, though.
We
It's just-
cannot confirm, but we
just what
can
folks are
confirm
saying.
that Central Wisconsin DSA is great.
Please keep in mind, I will keep my eyes open while people do other things to see if I can find the actual results. But people are optimistic, and there are celebrations happening. But as a stalwart journalist, I can't confirm or deny until I've seen it written somewhere else.
I do appreciate that.
Any other questions?
We're
I'm gonna
seeing-
go through. Let's take a little gander. Let's stride through these comments.
Central Wisconsin DSA.
Now this is from the same person that wanted me to shout out Portage. They're kind of double dipping over here.
Mm-hmm.
But great. I really appreciate our creative directors and our creative team. There's so much going on. I mean, the folk art. This Fran Hong for Wisconsin is a folk art movement in a certain sense. We've got posters, we've got flyers, we've got buttons, we've got shirts. I received a text personally for that Silly Goose sweatshirt. A member of our policy team said, and I quote, "My wife will divorce me if I don't get her this goose sweatshirt." So if there's a way to save my friend's marriage, please let me know. I'd love to make that happen. Fran, let's take this one down. But Fran, what's your favorite obscure Wisconsin athlete?
Obscure? I don't know if we could consider Matt Hamilton obscure, but shout out to our curling champion who was also a Morris Ramen fan. Was always great to have him come through. He brought in the gold medal the year that he won it into the restaurant to share with to show our staff. And I believe Matt Hamilton has recently just become a dad. So congrats to Matt and fam and new baby. Very, very exciting.
And if we put our shoulders to the wheel, Matt can get free childcare to help, because right now it costs $12,000 a year or north for infant care. So let's get Matt the care a curling champion, but also all of us deserve, because in many ways we're all champions in the curling arena that is life. Fran, speaking of Wisconsin athletes, you had a lot of opinions about Tyler Hero recently. Do you want to share those with the class?
Well, I acknowledge and appreciate the hometown hero support. I believe that one has to prove that they are a good leader and point guard when they cultivate good leaders and good plays in others. And that's what I hope that Tyler Hero will do on the Bucks. Will be a good playmaker and make his teammates look better, play better. Do I have high hopes for that? I'm not sure. But that is a very diplomatic answer.
It's important to believe in the best of people, right? Man
It is important, and I do think that Jordan, we've got an opportunity to really cultivate the synergy of young players in this new post-Giannis era, and I am cautiously hopeful that Tyler will be a good part of that.
This campaign is about believing that there is good inside all of us and realizing it and fighting for it. Mm-hmm. And I guess Tyler Hero qualifies too. Mm-hmm. Great. Are we
the
keeping
Brewers
going here?
are killing it. I will. True. Yeah. Wasn't great how they wanted to celebrate Mrs. Strikeouts the other day, but very exciting that we are watching Mrs. Greatness grow on the Brewers this season. And we're going to quick pause on the crafts. My leg is definitely asleep. But
one thing that isn't asleep is this influx of donations from supporters across the entire country. I just love making a good segue, you know? I'm like the guy that invented the segue. We've got Jennifer in DeForest with $25. Warren in Sheboygan Falls with $5. People from all over. Autumn in Milwaukee, a real boss. She gave us $350. That's incredible.
Whoa, thank you, Autumn.
Wow, thank you so much, Autumn. Aaron in Madison with a big thundo. That's a quadruple digit donation. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. And big thanks to my friend Marco, who is here with us. Thank you so much for being here. Love your jersey.
Thanks for having me.
Marco, what brings you to the set today, to our slumber party?
Yeah, so we know that you've been trying to reach a bunch of different communities, and you have been reaching a bunch of communities around Wisconsin, but we also wanted to take an opportunity to have you share a little bit of your Spanish skills with the audience, to just kind of, again, get your own voice out there in Spanish for our Latino community in Wisconsin, to hear how you are envisioning supporting them as future governor.
And who are you? Can you introduce yourselves to our community as well?
Sure. My name is Marco Vallejos. I'm a PhD student at UW-Madison. What else? I don't know much more.
In Spanish too.
In Spanish,
Yeah.
hola, me llamo Marco. Ya, y queremos hablar un poquito en español para conocerte más en la comunidad latino y hablar sobre sus políticas para Wisconsin.
Y primera, mi español is Spanglish. Just
Okay.
going to be very upfront about this. Pero aprendí español en al colegio
Mhm.
y después del colegio viví en Costa Rica
Ah, qué bien.
para casi 6 meses.
Okay.
Jugando fútbol con los niños en Upala, Nicaragua, Upala, Costa Rica. And, es con fútbol y soy hija de inmigrantes. Mis padres son de Corea y es muy importante y una parte de mi identidad que es posible la identidad más importante porque es los sacrificios
Sí.
de mis padres, es porque yo soy aquí. Es cómo puedo hacer el trabajo político, hacer el trabajo en restaurantes. Es Wisconsin donde tengo mi hijo, donde mi hijo va a la escuela. Entonces los políticos, lo que quiero aprender y asistir más con las comunidades latinos es, yo quiero ser partner. No es que, ¿cómo puedo ayudarte vivir como tú quieras? Does that make sense?
Sí.
Okay.
Sí, entiendo. Sí, también soy un hijo de un inmigrante de Chile,
¿Dónde en Chile?
Santiago, entonces el capital.
Ujú.
Pero ya, y de ser un inmigrante o una hija de un inmigrante es muy importante, creo, para ti. Y también usted va a ser, es la primera hija de inmigrantes postulando para la candidatura demócrata para gobernadora en Wisconsin. Y te escuché hablar al frente de un montón de gente en el día de sin inmigrantes, May 1st, May Day.
En el Capitolio.
Sí, y me impresionó mucho que tú estabas apoyando no solo tu pueblo de coreanos inmigrantes, pero también a los pueblos inmigrantes de Wisconsin, de todos. ¿Por qué es tan importante para ti apoyar a todos los trabajadores, los trabajadores inmigrantes, y cómo planea lograr salarios justos para todos los trabajadores de Wisconsin?
Sin justicia para los inmigrantes, no hay justicia para todos. Es que los trabajadores que están inmigrantes, nuestra libertad, nuestra justicia, nuestras historias they're interconnected. Entonces, si tenemos que luchar y estar en la lucha juntos, si vamos a hacer justicia para todos en Wisconsin. La historia de inmigrantes es la historia de Wisconsin. No hay Wisconsin sin inmigrantes. Entonces los políticos, is that politicians? Políticos, ellos tienen que ser o aprender porque las leyes que benefician los inmigrantes beneficia a todos. Eso es lo que es muy importante para políticos y personas en las comunidades que tienen posiciones o poder tienen que entender que cuando protegemos los inmigrantes, nosotros, we're protecting each other. Eso es porque soy la experiencia o mi historia de ser una hija de inmigrantes. Es algo que tengo más responsabilidad
Sí.
y tengo una responsabilidad de compartir el poder.
Sí, muy bonito, muy lindo decir eso. Y en ese tema también, esa semana pasada y hoy día vimos una subida de tensión sobre las actividades de la migra en Wisconsin, por lo menos,
Fitchburg, Milwaukee,
y también ahora hoy día en Madison.
Madison y también en Western Wisconsin.
Sí.
En
Entonces,
el norte, sí.
primero, ¿qué quieres decir a la comunidad hoy? ¿Y qué son sus propuestas contra la actividad de ICE?
Todo en la comunidad tiene la responsabilidad de saber todo de Know Your Rights, Legal Observer Training, y que algo como conducir con el coche para ir al trabajo o ayudar con comida es mutual aid, es muy importante. Es algo que los políticos tienen que entender that mutual aid, community safety, es algo que a veces las leyes no necesitan leyes para hacer esto. Y la comunidad tiene la responsabilidad de hacer this mutual aid. Y el gobierno tiene que hacer leyes con no 287G agreements, que todos los ICE agents tienen que ser identificados. No masks, no masked agents, no secret police. Y yo pienso que el Estado tiene que pagar a las organizaciones que están ayudando las familias, porque las familias, no hay mucha persona si tiene miedo que puede trust. So the state has a responsibility to know that when the money goes to the community partners that families trust, even if they are not named, that we have to be mindful of protecting people's identities and to know that these resources have to go without the restrictions that would potentially compromise people's safety. And I'm a governor who understands that when systems fail, communities show up. And it's important to recognize how to distribute and do the work of distributing resources to different organizations who have different trusted relationships with folks most impacted. And that the state has a responsibility to share those resources and fund organizations in addition to these laws. No secret police, no 287G agreements. And you can say all of that in Spanish with me. But lo más importante es que hay leyes, sí. El gobierno, la gobernadora tiene una micrófono grande, grandísima. Y hay una responsabilidad de decir con fuerza, no ICE. Todos los inmigrantes, bienvenidos. Ustedes We want you here. We need you here. I'm in your corner to fight ICE. And eso es algo que voy a hacer como gobernadora para proteger todas las comunidades, porque cuando tenemos justicia para los inmigrantes, tenemos justicia para todos.
Gracias. Sí, no, es muy poderoso escuchar eso, porque ahora, hoy día en Wisconsin, no tenemos políticos hablando de esa cosa con tan poder, con tan fuerza contra la migra, contra el gobierno federal. Y eso, para mí, significa que si cuando tú eres gobernadora, vas a estar allí por nosotros. Y no solo para el voto, right, for the votes, pero vas a estar allí por cualquier cosa, por la comunidad, mutual aid. Cuando el gobierno no puede hacer algo, tú vas a encontrar un razón o una posibilidad a ayudarnos con otra cosa. Y algo para mí que es muy claro en conocerte es que tú eres la misma persona al frente del cámara o detrás o en la casa, en cualquier lugar. A verte cuando en la primer video que hicimos en el restaurante, cuando como tú no eras perfecta al frente del cámara, era real, right? Tú eras una persona real. Y para mí, tú eres la primera política que he conocido, es que, esa persona es real, esa persona es una persona que yo puedo hablar de cosas, de temas, de cualquier, que importa. No importa si es de algo importante como sus propuestas contra cualquier cosa o propuestas por algo, pero también que tú puedes hablar de fútbol, de cómo es, qué vas a cocinar, qué vamos a hacer mañana, qué vas a tener con su hijo George, cualquier cosa, y no importa cuando tú estás en un rally game o un Forward Madison game y estás allí como Fran, no como Fran la política, pero como Fran la mujer, la mamá. Es muy importante y es un honor conocerte así.
No, Marco, gracias.
Entonces...
Porque yo soy trabajador.
Sí, es normal.
Para ser la gente, para luchar con la gente, para ser en la lucha con la gente, es algo que es un honor para mí. Entonces, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be a part of the community. Yeah.
Ok, entonces algo más informal.
Okay.
Era una lástima ver Corea eliminado del mundial. Entonces...
Eliminado con... yeah, that was embarrassing.
Un poquito.
Yeah.
Pero entonces, ahora, ¿quién te vas a apoyar ahora en el mundial?
Ayer... Paraguay.
Paraguay? Ok. Qué bien.
Those true underdogs. Paraguay or Morocco.
Ok. Ok. Qué bien.
Marco,
Entonces,
gracias por venir. Gracias por todo. Thank you so much. Love you too. Thanks, Marco.
Perfect.
Can everyone just also how amazing this jersey is? We love
de Chile.
Palestino de Chile. Oh, gracias, Marco, por venir.
Pues, sí.
All right. Whew.
Very much, Marco.
Thank you, Marco.
And they are popping confetti cannons at the Melak Heroes
Oh,
watch
that's
party.
awesome. Congrats, Melat. Okay. Wow. We have now one of my favorite people coming back for a stream. We love her. Y'all know her as Potty Mouth Pollyanna, but she's my friend Mandy Tits. Hi. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, do you want to make some pins?
Of course.
Okay. How have you been?
Good.
Yeah?
It's been, I mean, it's what, been
In
about
these-
6 months since our last little. I mean, look at this.
In these times, yeah, we've upgraded. Well, no, it's not upgrade. We found more community.
Yeah, this is
I mean, this was
amazing.
all put together. Renee and Jennifer, who donated us the exhibition. We have Art and Adam running all of our production. They're amazing. I don't know really how so much of this comes together. It does because the people are amazing, and I get to talk to amazing people. So thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, I mean, I'm good. I mean, as good as you can be, right?
In these times.
Yeah. And I think I've had recently it's been a lot of reflection because I think we're all hitting kind of that burnout place. At least it seems to me there seems to be a lot of collective burnout. And because there's just been so much bad news.
Yeah.
And it's like every time you turn, it's like, what now, right? And so I've been trying to kind of live, because I think if you don't remember what you're fighting for, you're not going to be able to keep fighting. So it's like just trying to, as they say, touch grass and spend time with my kids and my dogs and just remind myself why I'm fighting.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I can keep doing it.
And the way that you're fighting, and remind folks watching where you are in Wisconsin, because it's very different than Madison, where we are here.
Am I looking right here?
Yes.
Okay. I should have asked that right away.
No, it's all good. I've been looking everywhere.
Yeah,
we're going to look good anywhere. So.
Yeah, look at us. I should have brought my phone out. We could have done a little selfie. So yeah, I'm northwestern Wisconsin, just north of the Eau Claire area, which is weird because actually most of the creators I know are from more down here or Milwaukee. So I'm kind of up in that little area, which is funny because today I've been to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And then I turned around, stopped back at home, and then I came down here.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
just like, I'm really glad I have a hybrid. She gets that good mileage.
Blessed
but yeah,
hybrid. So yeah, who is your congressperson then up
District
there?
23, and my brain has just stopped.
Is it?
Why did my brain just stop?
Oh, well, no. How about your? Is that DVO?
No, that's District 3. That's where my mom is, though. DVO is my mom.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. So like, that's a race I've been very actively engaged in because my mom is still there, and I grew up in that district. We are right. I'm right like on the cusp of that. Where I live is kind of just right in the Chippewa Falls area.
So Tom Tiffany wasn't your congressperson? Mm-mm. Oh, whoops! I should have.
I just had this name in my head like an hour ago, and it has gone completely bye-bye.
And it's not Tony Weed.
No. Why is it gone?
Not Tiffany, not DVO.
Who's got a phone? Who can Google District 23?
Oops. Well, we wouldn't have. It would be the 8th or the 3rd.
Not. No, I'm thinking the wrong.
So your assembly person
I'm
is
thinking
23.
my assembly is 23.
Anyway, you have Republican representation.
My brain has completely stopped tonight. I'm so sorry.
You've
been going since you've been going a lot longer than me.
I should know. That's why I.
But District 3 is the one that I definitely, because mine isn't real flippable. It's not flippable, unfortunately. But District 3 is very flippable.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been really riding hard for District 3. Because that's where my mom is.
Yeah.
And I grew up there, and my mom's on Medicaid, and my mom is on, assisted living and disability, and all of these things are being cut. And, and
in rural Western Wisconsin has had some hits to their healthcare system.
Rural hospitals, on the brink of closure or have closed. It's just really like when I'm speaking with people, those are the things I'm hearing from people is their fear of like affordability and healthcare access, data centers, which is a big topic.
Yeah.
And so, these are the things that are really, I think, really have the, like, on
and it's
all
multi-generational.
lines. Yes, and that's the thing, is I think that they're so unifying.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I'm very much on the left. I'm very, like, that's where I am. But when I'm having just, like, people don't realize, especially in rural Wisconsin, the person who might be on the internet saying really, really mean things to me might also be the same person who would see me broke down on the side of the road and would fix my car. And so I never...
That's rural socialism,
I
though.
never miss an opportunity, really is. I never miss an opportunity to ask them what, when they don't know who I am, like, what is it that's, like, what is it driving you? Like, and trying to get them to the heart of these issues, and then really talk about voting history with, like, Tom Tiffany, and, like, why we need to be getting somebody who actually cares about making things more affordable, more accessible.
Yeah.
Not destroying
Someone who cares
our lands.
about how you care.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're caring for your mom.
Yeah.
We've got folks who are trying to care for people, whether that's, you know, in-home care, whether that's in daycare, whether that's caregiving in assisted living facilities, care work in healthcare facilities. I think right now people deserve politicians who care.
Yeah.
And who understand that in order to make things more affordable and have that not be just a subjective thing of how affordable, we have to do things like tax the rich and regulate corporations.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you talk about taxing the rich?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I think there's this...
How does it land?
I feel like we have to find maybe better language
Ooh,
around
say
it.
more. Say more.
I'm not really sure the right approach, but I think that there's this idea. I always say that it feels like a lot of rural Wisconsin thinks they are closer to being rich than they are to being on assistance, and that's just not true. And so it's finding a way to explain to them that the systems that have made people as rich as they are, how we have hundreds of millions of dollars,
well, when you're
billionaires,
explaining, you're
trillionaires,
losing.
like those systems are exploitive. Like they're using people to get there.
Yeah.
And so once people are like that, we can't attain that. Like we can't get there. And so it's like, how do we get past this part of where they have been convinced, because this has been for generations, they have been convinced that it's just pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. It's just working harder. And unfortunately, the system is rigged against us.
Yeah.
And so no matter how hard we work, it's the same conversation I'll have around food assistance, right? You know, I'll get people saying, well, our tax dollars shouldn't pay for that assistance. I'm like, but they're paying those tax dollars too, because most people are, thank you. There's my senator. That.
State Senator Jesse James.
There we go.
District 23.
You're
not the first person I've had this conversation with who is in a rural community, and you know, I've been cautioned around saying tax the rich because it's still something that people think, as you said, is attainable, is something to aspire to. So why would we, why would we dox that? Why would we make it as though that's something that should be punished?
I feel like there's this unrealistic belief that that trickle down, economics actually works, and that and that we are, I've got it on.
Reagan fucked us.
Paul. It's one of my favorite moments. I think that they really, and I think a lot of it is almost like a security blanket, because to let that go means, oh wait, I can't attain that. At least not in the way that maybe I have convinced myself I can.
Interesting.
Because I feel like the people that have come to terms with that, our idea of rich is very different. It's not millions of dollars. It's enough money that if I have an emergency room bill, I can just pay it. It's enough money that if something breaks down in my car, it can get repaired. It's enough money to just go to bed at night and not be worried if the electricity and my food bill can both be paid. It's very like, to me, just having a savings account in general feels affluent, and knowing that, like, you know what, I can put food on the table. I don't have to barter for what I'm paying and what I'm not. I feel like that, and being able to just live.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, you know what? I want the dream of like I can take my family on a vacation once a year.
Yeah.
Or I can enjoy some time off if needed. Or if I get sick,
There'd be paid leave.
I'm not having to work, and kill myself for a company that will replace me immediately if I'm gone.
Yeah.
And so it's explaining to people, like it's figuring out a way to have a real conversation about, like, when we say tax the rich, it means fairly.
That's that word.
So
that other favorite.
Yes.
Well, it's actually more like my top 4 F word.
Yeah.
Is fairness.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes.
I don't know how we do make buttons, but.
That's the button. I was gonna maybe color on this too. If you want to write some postcards with me.
Sure. Let's do that.
So.
Then we're not trying machinery.
Yeah, we should make a button at some point.
We
though. Noelle did a great job of showing us. I just wasn't a great note taker there.
No
but I talk about, this was a conversation I had in Montello. Okay. It was after the Marquette County Dems meeting, and we walked outside. I saw 2 folks. Gonna go ahead and say I made a judgment call that maybe they voted differently than I did in 24, and I stopped, told them I'm Francesca Hong, I'm running for governor. What are some of the things you're most proud of in your community, where you're from? They're like, are you a Democrat or a Republican? And I was like, well, I'm actually a Democratic Socialist, running on the Democratic ticket. When in socialism, tax the billionaires, businesses are going to leave. And I brought it to fairness. I said, look, I was a restaurant owner for 7 years, and many small businesses across Wisconsin pay a higher tax rate than some of the largest corporations, who are not only paying a lower tax rate, but sometimes little to none because of a tax credit they're eligible for that a lot of small businesses are not. So small business owners, everyday folks like you and I, are paying for tax breaks for others, and that's not fair. If we want tax fairness, it's about people paying their fair share.
Yeah. How did they respond to that?
There was more head nodding, and then some references to New York.
Okay.
Socialism is going to drive business away. And so that's when I say 99% of the businesses in Wisconsin are small businesses. I think if they were given a fair tax rate, that they would likely have, more ways to grow, have more workers. I know for me that turnover has a cost. When you have employees, when you have high turnover amongst employees, when there aren't great schools and good public services, it gets harder to attract workers. But regardless, as a small business owner, I don't want there to be larger corporations that are getting a tax break that I'm not eligible for,
right,
just because our profits aren't at the same rate as theirs.
Right. Or you're not willing to contribute to certain people, or whatever the reason might be, that, because a lot of it is lobbying and people,
Well, I eventually brought it back to potholes because I saw potholes in the roads, and I said, look, we're not funding our public schools. And they said they were from Portage. Portage had a referenda, and I said, this state is hoarding its money, not funding our public schools, and then putting it on the taxpayers to raise their own property taxes to fund their schools. And if the state was doing its job and getting, towns like Montello and Portage the resources to make sure that we fix potholes.
Yeah.
Socialism is potholes, packers, and public schools.
I love that.
And I go back to, we're all paying for fire, EMS.
Yeah. These things are socialism.
Yeah, your taxes are funding, it's the local governments that are funding law enforcement and emergency services and your libraries. But beyond that, we were all eating ice cream in the end. Well, they finished their ice cream. I went and could grab mine. And I don't think I got them to vote for me, but I did talk about potholes in public schools
I mean,
and
it
tax
gives something to
fairness.
think about. Yeah. And I think that's really how these conversations have to start. And we have to hope that we make headway in those conversations, because I think some people have had these things, these fears drilled in for so long. This idea that also there's this fear.
Well, that's the system.
Right.
It's designed to divide us by making us fear one another.
But I also think too, there's this, again, it comes back to that mentality of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. They see socialism as
cheating,
handouts, and not doing work and not it's just you're paying into a system. That system should then be helping you, benefiting you, and everyone should be contributing. And it's not like this is how things worked forever.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't even that long ago, really, in the big scheme of things, that we had access to universal child care and
World War II,
and people could afford the things that now, I hear a lot of the
before Reagan fucked us.
Exactly. I get a lot of the angry manosphere a lot. My audience knows. And it's always, women should be home. Who can afford that? Like there's this delusion that, we should have women staying at home and raising babies, blah, blah, blah. If you want to do that, cool, but introduce me to the family who can afford to do that now.
Oftentimes I'll point to one of the biggest benefactors of government, socialism in government, is look at all the government contracts that Elon Musk has.
Yep.
Let's talk about corporate welfare, and that it's oftentimes easier to get a tax exemption than it is for a working mom to get access to food share benefits.
Oh yeah.
The amount of reporting and proof of work, what have you, when the reporting requirements for the Wisconsin Manufacturing and Agricultural Tax Credit have not been enforced as strictly as some of the social insurance programs that's literally food for kids, to make sure our construction workers who are seasonal have access to unemployment insurance during the off season. These are things who are there for folks in transition when they need them, but they shouldn't be forced into needing them in a system that doesn't allow them to be able to find the boots to pull themselves up.
Right.
So I think fairness is it's one that I go back to. Tax the rich is still, I think, growing also in numbers too.
Yeah.
But it's tax corporate greed, because corruption is something that is very bipartisan, has strong bipartisan opposition, is people fucking hate feeling like they're getting screwed.
Yeah.
And people are getting screwed right now.
Yes.
And it's because a lot of these, the government programs that are helping the largest corporations and some of the wealthiest from paying their fair share is making it so that it's harder for us to have more control of our own economic freedom.
Yeah. Well, and the cuts are being taken from the most vulnerable communities.
Yeah, that Tom Tiffany fully endorsed wholeheartedly.
Oh yeah.
To take food away from kids and got health care from over 1 million Wisconsinites.
Yep.
It's not a social insurance program, it's insurance. It's not there as a handout, but we're handing out tax credits to corporations.
Yeah.
We're giving tax breaks to the wealthiest that we are paying for.
Yeah.
So that means if we're paying in, we get our fair share.
Yeah. Been said, they love to talk about welfare recipients. Big corporations are the largest welfare recipients. And I would never speak ill of welfare recipients or any of that, but when I'm speaking to people and they do, I'm like, it's corporations that are taking from the system, not people just trying to survive.
Yeah.
But again, it comes back to this ideal that they are closer to being rich than they are to being on assistance. And it frustrates me, but it also worries me because as these things are happening right now, people are systematically ending up in positions where they cannot afford to pay their bills, they cannot afford to feed their families, they're losing their jobs to AI and to closures and to a million different things.
Yep.
And people who their whole life were just unwilling to take help, especially a lot of our older adults that are like, no, I'll be fine.
Wisconsin
are
folks are
struggling.
proud.
They're suffering. They're not eating. They're not taking care of themselves because they don't want to take the help. Or now the systems have gotten so complicated, they can't figure out how to even get the help, which is intentional. That's by design, so that they won't get the help. And so I worry every day about, because you hear stories about people that are not taking care of themselves because they literally don't have the money to feed
Struggling
themselves.
and suffering in silence.
And so, and so these very people who are too proud to ask for help are now suffering. And when they finally come to the point where they want the help, there have been so many roadblocks put in place, and they have complicated the system so much. They don't know even what to do.
And this is where the state has a responsibility to be proactive, and where if we funded state agencies better, where we put the investment into upgrading the tech on our websites and navigating state websites and services. Wisconsin Medicaid and Food Share, there are ways that the programs are more efficiently administered because we want to make it so you don't have to re-enter information every time, where we can have navigator programs. But it's one thing to help folks find a program that they may be eligible for that temporary support. It's another thing to have found that program and then know how to use it. Because working folks don't, one of the things that costs the most that working people have the least of is time. So there are navigator programs that I think we can invest in that are available. It's the responsibility of the elected officials to let folks know that they're there. Which is why local government officials at our state assembly and state senate, I'll say there are multiple times, a session where we have folks call from Republican districts because their Republican assembly person or senator is not responsive, and we've helped folks with different constituent services. And this is why down ballot elections matter so much, for folks to know that it's about voting down up, not top down, that you start at the bottom of your ballot and work your way up. And it is so important that we have a Democratic trifecta if we want to implement the types of policies that we know will help folks have easier lives, will change the material conditions of people's lives. That it's with a Democratic trifecta, we'll be able to legalize cannabis. It's with the Democratic trifecta that we'll be able to fight to increase wages, have free childcare, to make sure that we have working class people fighting for working class people in government. Thanks for the real talk today.
Thank you.
I think it's really important that folks know how these conversations, how complex and rich and flexible they have to be, depending on different parts of the state. Anyway, thanks for using the platform.
Always.
To do good.
Happy to do it.
Folks, follow Mandy at Potty Mouth Pollyanna. On all of the socials.
All the places.
I want to thank you all for hanging out. What the fuck are we calling this again? All night hong. Well, we are at that part of the night where it's not an all night. Huge shout out, thank you to Adam and Art and everyone on the production team. This was amazing. Jenny Bastian, Tara Stongler, Marco, all of our guests today. The whole team is coming through. Yay!
Yay! Woo!
This is Team Hong, everyone. Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Hi. Oh, I guess we'll come sit.
Yeah, I guess
okay.
cool. We can
All
move.
right. Big picture.
My
Thank you
gosh.
all for
I think
tuning
my feet
in.
fell
Thank you for
asleep.
all your support. Thanks for volunteering. We are
I'm
going to need
blocking
your
people.
support. Oh my God, am I going to say the thing? Now more than ever. Donate, volunteer, build community, find folks who care about our state as much as we do. There's a lot of us out there, and we're excited to be building a campaign rooted in care, rooted in community, and fighting for working class people. This is about the many, not just the money, and for permanent affordability. Thank you all again so much for tuning in today. Anything else?
That's it.
Everyone here is amazing. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.